The question is, are the celebrations based in real fact or not? Kincade Salciunas with an interloper from the afternoons. Stay tuned.
This is Kincade and Salciunas.
I hated the Sir Anthony Dominguez trade last year. I hate that they did not bring back either one of Hoffman or Estevez. And now I'm sitting here going, yeah, we were right about all three. And that guy was not.
And that's bad. It's bad that we were right about all three.
Now, do I think he can still make this Phillies team great?
I think Tate's and Brown.
Kincade and Salciunas. John Kincade, Andrew Salciunas.
97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
And a good Thursday, May the 8th to you. John Kincade. It is not Andrew Salciunas next to me. It is out of the bullpen. We've made the call to Ricky Batalico from the afternoon show to come in because Cooper Salciunas is under the weather. So Daddy had to stay home to make sure he was taken care of. And so Brendan Gunn's moving to the afternoon show for the afternoon. So HTS, it is not a Korean pop band. Haley Taylor Simon moves into Derek Gunn's spot. So then Nate moves into Gunner's spot and back. I mean, we've got everybody running around.
These changes for the Phillies.
Now batting for the Phillies. Second baseman Mickey Morandini.
Unbelievable.
Hi, Ricky. I appreciate you being here.
It is a day.
And you were supposed to be off today.
I was supposed to have an off day.
So we are all at the mercy of a 3-year-old boy around here.
Cooper took over the stage.
We hope Cooper's okay. And we hope that Mike Vito's okay, who had to do all of this shifting.
You know what? Sometimes you do feel bad for the guy that's got to turn everybody. He called me into the office, and he was looking down at the floor the whole time. That's how I knew something was up.
And when Ricky got called into the office, he's like, oh, crap. Don't tell me. No. It's just a shift of asking you to work in the morning.
Yeah.
I appreciate you being here.
I don't have a problem. You know that.
Good. I love it. Love getting a chance to see you. We got the news yesterday that Dallas Goedert is back. But it's funny because we did not do the show before the show, but I think that we have a kindred spirit today in Ricky Batalico being here because I'm going to ask, can we have some honest conversation about Dallas Goedert being back? Because it was as if yesterday, well, let's start putting out the parade route cones. Let's put up the barriers because the last missing piece is back. Dallas Goedert's returning. And Ricky, I'm thrilled that Dallas Goedert's back. I am very happy he's back. But I had made the case before when he was leaving that I believe people have overvalued and overhyped what he has actually brought to the table.
Yeah, he's brought a lot of missed games. I mean, when you really go back and look, he's missed 17 games when he's been here. That's a full season.
Yeah.
That's a full season of games that he's missed.
The last 4 years, he's missed a season.
Have they really had? Here's the way I was looking at it when he wasn't going to be here. When we heard he wasn't he's not going to be here, they're not going to resign him, he's going to get traded, blah, blah, blah. I thought they were going to bring in a veteran from some other team that was going to get released, cut, whatever. And, okay, you could use that, and it's not going to be much of a problem. I looked at it either way. I think either way, I don't think the Eagles would have had a problem. You know, I want you to think about this. Think about the National Football League in general. How many National Football Leagues have 8 stars on offense?
Rarely do you see 6.
6.
Yesterday, I was looking at depth charts because I'm a dork. I was listening to the afternoon show, and I was looking at depth charts, and I was saying, how many teams have 6? Let alone like 8.
The Eagles have 8.
Yeah, the Eagles have 8.
They have 4 linemen.
Yep.
They have a quarterback.
Yep, 2 receivers.
They have a running back and 2 receivers.
Yes, the Eagles are freaking loaded.
What was everybody so worried about? That's where I was standing. I was standing that Dallas Goedert is a good player. I don't have anything against it when he's healthy and playing. What I do have against it is you already have 8 stars. What does it need to be?
Well, here's what I was talking about yesterday, and I'm listening to you guys do your show. And one of the things that was interesting is I think the league always tells you, every sport, whether it's baseball, whether it's football, whether it's hockey or basketball, I think the league always speaks on players too. Dallas Goedert was there on the shelf, available for the taking. It was like a CVS during COVID. If you wanted it, you could have just come in and grabbed it.
Yeah.
Could have just taken it off the shelf. And nobody came calling.
That's the big problem.
So that tells you right then and there, it really wasn't. And the Eagles weren't getting more reportedly than a fifth at the best, maybe a sixth if they could have moved him. And nobody picked up nobody was calling. That tells me what the league thought of it.
Which is why he took the pay cut.
Correct. And that's where this came in. I wanted to hear about this. Dave Zingaro, cut number 3, Haley, if you would. Dave Zingaro joined you guys yesterday, and he was talking about why Dallas Goedert is back. And I heard this answer, and I yelled out at the TV, "Oh, BS, Dave."
It's also about comfort, too. I mean, he's spent his entire career here. He's had a lot of success. He's one of the best playoff performers in Eagles history. So to come back here when, there's no guarantee going anywhere else is going to be better for him. And without knowing that he'd get like a long-term deal for a lot of money, which I think based on him being shopped a little bit probably wasn't out there for him right now. I think it's a kind of a win-win. He does have to swallow his pride a little bit and take that pay cut, but really try to stay healthy, which has obviously been the problem with him. When he's been on the field, he's been fantastic. It's just he's missed games every year. He missed 7 games last year. The one good thing about Goedert is like the timing has always sort of worked out where he's back in time for the playoffs. That happened last year, and he was really good in the playoffs. So, look, I think there have been a lot of players who have left Philadelphia over the last few years and didn't like where they landed. And you don't fault anyone for taking the money. There's a short shelf life as a professional athlete. You got to make it while you can. But based on some players who have left and come back, there are some that have regretted leaving. So I'm sure he's talked to some of those players, and it's a comfortable setup for a team that won a Super Bowl and has aspirations to go back.
By the way, Dave Zingaro has forgotten more about the Eagles than I know. So I want to make sure that that's out there. But that's a little bit of a BS take because the money wasn't out there for Dallas Goedert. Nobody was going to sign Dallas Goedert to if somebody wanted to lock him down to a long-term contract, they would have traded for him. They would have traded a late third-day pick, and then they would have re-upped him, given him 2 more years, reworked that contract, and had him locked up. Nobody was calling.
I agree with you.
There was nobody calling.
By the way, you could hear it in Dave. Dave didn't want to put it all on one side. Is what I felt like.
Well, he's a good reporter. That's
because
why.
He said he had a comfort zone here at the beginning.
Right.
And then he goes to say he had to swallow his pride a little bit.
Exactly.
So you see what I mean?
Sure.
There's 2 different levels that go along with that, and he ends up an Eagle one way or the other. He did have to take a little bit of a pay cut, but apparently it's more guaranteed.
Yes,
they
gave him $10 million. He literally, by coming back, Jeffrey Lurie's stroking a check for $10 million.
Now let me ask you something. How do they do that? They give you a check for $10 million now?
You get a wire transfer.
And then he only gets.
And then that's it. That's it.
If he gets the million.
No, he doesn't get a payday.
Well, unless he gets that bonus.
Unless he gets a bonus. So he doesn't get a payday all season long.
It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Oh, I'd love it. I personally would love that. I'm a budgeter.
Yeah,
so
I wouldn't mind that either.
No, I would not.
Actually, it would help.
Yeah, it would. Then you know exactly what you got. $10 million, wire transfer, it's in. The one thing I would tell you is this. You brought up the number. I love working with Ricky because I know that he's going to be very well prepared, much like my partner Andrew is out today. 17 games.
Yes.
If I set the number, Haley, I'll ask you the number. If I set the number at 65%, did the Eagles win 65% of the games when Dallas Goedert missed?
I'm going to say yes.
Did they win 67% of the games when he was out?
I'm going to say no on that one.
Yes, they did. Did they win 70% of the games when he was out?
Yeah.
They did. Did they win 70% of the games when he was out?
Yes.
Yeah, they did. I mean,
they won without him. You're right.
They won without him. Okay, Ricky, you already know this answer because Ricky's prepared, folks. That's how he came out of the pen. And did they run the ball better or worse in the 17 games? Did they run the ball better or worse when he was out or in?
Haley, you want to take this because I already know the answer.
I'm going to say they ran the ball better.
They did. And look, they may have run the ball better because maybe they relied on the run better in the 17 games that he was out because he wasn't in. Maybe they chose not to throw it. So there could be some answers to that.
Yeah, but did they really choose not to throw it, or is just the tight end like a once in about 8 games type situation where he's going to get a bunch of receptions?
We want to hear from you. 610-632-0975. You want to call in. You want to text in. We love to hear from you. We're thrilled that Dallas Goedert's back, right? I'm glad he's back.
Absolutely love it. I do love it.
I'd rather have him than not. But I think we can have honest conversation about it was not going to be this black hole of despair if he left.
And it's not my money.
and it's not my money. You're just fascinated by $10.1 million or whatever it is.
He's already gotten it,
in one wire transfer.
Probably got it today.
I would knock somebody over to get to my phone to check the wire transfer.
Let me just look at those numbers.
Oh, I'd love it. Hey, yeah, come on in. Hey, what don't the numbers say about a guy like Dallas Goedert? We'll get into more conversation about that. It's Ricky Bottalico and John Kincade on Kincade and Salciunas here on The Fanatic.
Mike Missanelli.
morning. Andrew's out taking care of Cooper, who is ill today. He'll be back tomorrow. It's graduation day for Liv, so looking forward to that a little bit later on today. Haley is in for Gunner. Ricky is in kindly for Andrew, so it's a lot of shifting chairs today.
You gonna cry tonight?
I'll tell you a little bit later. I got to ask you for some guidance.
All right.
But Walter McCray checks in already on Twitter. And Walter goes, "Why are you dumping on Dallas Goedert? Good grief." And this is exactly what I want to talk about. Are you allowed to have honest conversation about an athlete? Did we not, Haley, and you got to be the arbiter, did we not lead with and close with, Ricky and I are both thrilled that Dallas Goedert is back.
That is what you said.
We are thrilled. But are you allowed to have an honest conversation about the fact?
Don't let the facts stay in the way of a good story.
I mean, seriously, Walter, if I don't have my cheerleader skirt on and my pom-poms on for you, but you got to have honest conversation. Facts. In the 17 games he's missed in the last 4 years, the Eagles run the ball better and have won at a higher percentage when he's out. I mean, and that doesn't necessarily mean they're better without him, but just strangely enough, they haven't lost. They haven't missed him. They haven't missed him. He hasn't been like oh my gosh, how are we going to survive? I wasn't worried at all. If Dallas Goedert had left, I wasn't worried at all. I'm thrilled he's back, but I don't know what kind of a huge impact it makes.
By the way,
back.
you and I may have been the only two.
Oh, I know.
Because everybody else was.
Oh my
like,
gosh!
What like I committed a sin? I mean, what are we talking about here? We're talking about one player on a slew of stars offense. Are you serious?
I mean,
like you seriously think if the Eagles did not have Dallas Goedert, this offense would fall apart? You know what? Who's the problem child now?
If you took the every offensive staff, every offensive depth chart, the 11 players, all 11 of every single NFL team, and I tried to go through all the contenders yesterday, Super Bowl contenders, and I was counting 6 stars, and you all obviously had already done it. The Eagles had 8.
Yes.
There's no worry about Dallas Goedert being coming or going in my mind. I didn't feel like I wasn't concerned either way. You know that Andrew said he would have been borderline devastated if Dallas Goedert left. Now look, Dallas Goedert has a lot of highlight moments, and he's a damn good player. But I did not believe that there was in any way that there's not enough defensive players to be able to cover all these stars.
No, there's not as is. And
Is.
By the way, here's what you have to look at. If you took away the quarterback of the Eagles, would they be the same team?
No.
You take away Saquon Barkley, would they be the same team?
No.
You take away wide receiver 1, would
AJ?
they be the same team?
No.
Wide receiver 2 is a question mark. I love Devontae Smith.
If Devontae was number 1, I think they would be easier to defend as a team.
Possibly. And then you just sit with the offensive line. If you replace that whole offensive line, you got a completely different team.
When Lane Johnson is out, it is one of the most glaring things that the Eagles have shown. When he's out, this Eagles team loses. This Eagles team gives up more sacks. This Eagles team gets exploited.
We're talking about a tight end here.
Come on. I think tight end is a luxury.
Yes.
It's a luxury item, especially when you're talking about a team like this. So you can send in your text. Haley will check out some of those texts for us at 610-632-0975. The Phillies played at Tampa last night, and we had a trifecta of unlikely hero performances. Ricky will address some of them coming up next. Kincade Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Big win for the Phils. I'm Haley Taylor Simon with your Fanatic Sports Update. This report is sponsored by Discover. Did you know what's accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide? If you guessed Discover, you guessed right. Based on the February 2024 Nelson report, the Phillies had a big 7-0 win over the Tampa Bay Rays last night. Taijuan Walker, though, had an impressive night in the bullpen. 3 innings in relief, 7 strikeouts, K'd the first 6 batters he faced, and only faced 10 batters. The Phillies are looking to get the sweep tonight. The Eagles have reconsidered terms with Dallas Goedert by agreeing to a restructured contract and pay cut that will keep the veteran in Philadelphia. Big news today as Sixers president Daryl Morey will be joining the Mike Missanelli show coming up at 10:15. This update is also brought to you by Wendy's 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles. You can choose the pair you want at participating U.S. Wendy's. I'm Haley Taylor Simon on your home for coverage of the Truist Championship, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Ricky 10, Mike Missanelli. This is Philadelphia Sports Talk with Kincade and Salciunas. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
All right, we just heard that Mike Missanelli comes up today at 10. At 10:15 today, Mike Missanelli will be joined by Daryl Morey. So Daryl Morey will come on, and Mike Missanelli last night on social media was saying, if you have things you want him to ask Daryl Morey, respond on X. So,
are you responding?
I did not ask a question, but I would ask is, we've begged Daryl Morey to come on Kincade and Salciunas for at least a year. So, I mean, it's like, so that would have been my question, but that would be rude to have Mike ask, why wouldn't you go on the morning show? But that would be my question.
How would that go over?
That would be rude, but I know this. Mike will do a great interview, and I do enjoy listening to Daryl, so I'll be listening a little bit later on today.
And there can't be any sugar coating on this one.
Oh, well, wait a minute. How long have you known Mike Missanelli?
I'm just saying, there can't be.
Yeah, with Mike, I don't think there's going to be a lot of sugar coating.
Well, on this one, I don't think you have a choice.
You can't be doing much of that. Haley Taylor Simon, we're just going to call her HTS, much like, what do they call it, K-pop?
I don't know.
The Korean,
that?
what's it, the Korean pop?
Yeah, K-pop.
Like BTS? Like BTS is one, right?
Behind the scenes?
No, you don't know the...
No, I do. I'm just messing with
BTS.
you.
You're HTS.
Yeah,
Haley
HTS.
Taylor Simon. Running the show today because Gunnar will be on this afternoon, the afternoon show. Do we have anything on the text line this morning, Hale?
We do. We have from Joe the Cynic. He texts in and he says, figured Goddard would play at least 12 games this season. His guess is other GMs don't want to break the bank on a player, and that's what the Eagles do. They're going to re-sign him for less money.
What does that mean? He's going to play at least 12 games a season.
Well,
Are we supposed to be thrilled by this?
No, but he's thinking 12.
Yeah.
Joe's being...
Well, that would be on average,
That's
correct?
On average, correct. And the thing is, though, that's fine with me, I guess. I mean, it still is expensive for me because I think this team could afford a very cheap tight end. And I don't know if I don't know if the draft got screwed up or other. I don't think the draft board went the way they thought it would.
I don't think the tight ends fell the way they
I
thought.
think
No.
they thought they were going to get a cheap tight end.
Well, you know what? Their needs were a little greater than tight end. I think they were on the same page we were.
Correct.
In the sense that, okay, you know what? Tight ends aren't going to fall. Let's just pivot right now. We're going to pivot. Because they were probably thinking second round with a tight end
Yes.
to start.
Correct.
Well,
And then,
guess
no,
what?
they're wrong.
Guess what? They pivoted and things went better.
There was a trifecta of heroes last night. And I would almost say an unlikely trifecta of heroes, especially if you cruise X, the social media platform. Because last night, other than the fact that, let's just get it out of the way, Christopher Sanchez, he has taken such a leap in 2 years. It's absolutely unbelievable. And Ricky, you as a pitcher can just sort of take us behind the curtain as to his development because it's truly been incredible.
I mean, I think it's just all about his location when you really think about it. He's got the pitches. So when you have the repertoire, you don't really worry about it. You just try to locate. I think what he did, you could take this for what it's worth. I think he replicated what Ranger Suarez was doing. When Ranger was going good, what was he doing? Inside fastball, inside sinker to right-handed hitters, drop the changeups away. And then you could back foot him with the breaking ball on a right-hander. I think if you watch him.
Oh, no, that seems to be the approach.
If you watch him and think about Ranger doing it, you could almost put that over the top, and his location now is exactly what you would expect.
So why would it have taken, not that he was really strong,
Because you don't know. Watch this. Did you watch that Rays team last night?
Yes.
I'm going to tell you right now, that is those pitchers suck. They would never, and I'm being honest. I know the pitcher Boz came in with a 3-something ERA.
Sure.
He stinks too. They don't know how to pitch. You know what? This is a team that's been being run by complete analytics.
Now, when you say are you talking about situationally?
You know what, John? I have a brain. You have a brain. Haley even has a brain.
Thank you.
So I mean,
he's kind.
You could think your way through games.
Sure.
Those guys can't.
Well, like you were talking.
These are the dumbest. Yeah, I'm going to go with that.
Yes.
Good. You want to talk about this?
Well, we were talking about the same thing. Is that I saw last night a 1-2 pitch, a 1-2 count to Johan Rojas. Now, I'm a Rojas fan because I want to see him get the opportunity to prove to me what he is or what he isn't. And I know this. If I'm a pitcher and I'm on the mound and I see Johan Rojas and I've got him down 1-2, the next pitch is going to be nothing in the zone.
Manuel Rodriguez last night. I'm watching the at-bat. I'm like, throw a fastball inside. Throw a fastball inside or inside off the plate.
Right.
I said this. I literally looked and went, this guy's going to throw a slider on the plate on the outside part, and he's been diving for 2 pitches. Whoop, there it is. Slider away. Up, though, easy to hit.
What are you saying? Analytics told him to throw it there?
They throw what pitch they think is their best pitch. They don't care about a location.
That's crazy.
This is pathetic. Why do you think the Phillies are teeing off so bad on this team?
Okay, so
Name one pitch besides an Alec Boehm that has been thrown inner half in.
do you know that the Phillies have the best 9-hole hitter in baseball?
Probably by statistics.
By statistics, they do. I saw the graphic on MLB Network, so I'm stealing it. They have the best 9-hole hitter in baseball.
Okay,
but to me though, here's what I don't get. They asked the guy to go to winter ball. He was one of the MVP finalists or the MVP.
He won the MVP.
MVP. Then he comes into spring training, and he was certainly improved over anything they've ever seen in spring training before.
But they were still making Marsh.
Okay. Then they come to they bring him up. They come to Philadelphia, and they literally would not give him a crumb. They gave him crumbs while they're feeding Marsh the grand buffet. I'm saying to me, that pisses me off because it's an organization to me that was serving another master. They were trying to prove something or force feed something where they were ignoring what the data was showing them, that Rojas was the better player.
Why is this fan base and Phillies organization so in love with Brandon Marsh? What does he give you? First of all, what should he give you?
Well, he's
a big guy, by the way.
He should be able to give you some power.
Where there's none.
He should be able to give you a above average defense. Not great.
He's average.
He's average. But I think he should even be able to be better. And I think he should be able to be a 20 home run guy.
Not even close.
No, I know, but he should be, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And
I would think his size.
I think 265.
And
is that good?
143.
Correct. And to me, Johan Rojas has more upside in almost every single aspect of the game.
I have never seen this where it's A, B, C, and D, chance after chance after chance after chance.
That tells me they're trying to justify the trade for Logan O'Hoppe.
Thank you. I was trying to get you there. Thank you for coming to the island.
Now, the thing is, though, I've argued this with your own producer, Dylan McTrollan. I've argued this with him over and over again.
Because he's the only one left, I believe.
I think Dylan's the last one in the room that just won't turn off the light. That the Phillies have literally tried to they try to justify decisions. So they're trying to justify it. They won't. This is why they're doing it. And more importantly, too, I think with they're afraid to just admit that they were wrong on this.
Marsh and Syndergaard.
Oh my gosh. And Syndergaard, by the way, did help them get to a World Series. He did.
Moniak's already gone for them. So
he's already gone.
There's nothing to prove there. They won the trade.
Yes, they won. Because Logan O'Hoppe's going to be a catcher for their – if they won, he's going to be there 10 more years.
The irony of this whole situation is the Phillies are in need of a catcher probably after this year.
I think they are. But we're going to hear the re-sign JT stuff. I guarantee it. Because people, again, much like with Dallas Goedert, we're going to hear that you got to re-sign JT. You don't.
They're going to cry and moan that you need to sign JT. And then what's going to happen after that? You sign him, and they're going to say, wow, this team looks exactly the same as it did last year.
And the thing is, he's been a declining asset for 5 seasons in a row. He's aging because of his durability.
All right, let me ask
because of all the games he's caught. And there's the logjam at first base. If he could catch 110 games, or if he could catch 100 and play 40 at first base, and DH, I'd be okay with signing him for an additional 2.
Who would you re-sign? I'm just going to throw these names out there: Casty, Schwarber, Real Muto, Marsh, and who is the other? That's it.
Never Marsh.
That's a no.
I love Schwarber. He'd be my absolute priority.
Now mind you, going into
Casty will be a
Casty's
free agent
last
next
year
year.
will be
2
34
years.
years old.
Yeah, I'm not signing Casty past. I'm letting Casty play this year.
Doing
and
a
then
nice
next year.
little job, by the way. Quietly.
It's funny.
How odd is it?
Andrew and I both last year were getting killed by listeners because we're both Casty fans.
I was too.
Like,
I still kind of am, but he's been so quiet this year. He's made it very non-fun for me.
I think he's been.
I like when he tees off.
I think he's been their best hitter. Last year, I think he was their best hitter all year.
Plus,
long.
he played 162 last year.
Which I don't understand why he had.
Why not? If you could play and you're healthy, why not?
Okay, because of the fact that I think it then gives you the flexibility to give other guys days off. So that's what I'm just saying. If you're trying to get other guys days off and trying to get a little rest, that might help. He's Ricky Batalico. He's in today for Andrew Salciunas. Cooper, feel better. We're going to get your feedback on whether we make too much or too little of Dallas Goedert's contributions in his return. Plus that big Phillies win. What'd you think? Plus Trey Turner. It's Kincade Salciunas on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Connor Thomas.
Here's the thing.
John Kincade and Ricky Batalico on Kincade and Salciunas. Little bit of a
And I
shift.
am awake. How about that?
Yeah, but you usually are.
I've texted you.
You've texted me before 7 a.m.
Yeah, I'm up usually by 6. So
And
it
why
wasn't
is that?
big.
Explain to people why is that?
Why am I here?
Yeah, like no. Why are you a person that's an early riser when you work at 2 p.m?
Sun's up, I'm up. I don't know.
So you are.
It's just I've been that way for a long time.
Yeah, but I see you on TV usually when I'm going to bed. When I'm going to bed, I'm usually turning off. I'm usually seeing you right before I go to bed.
I'll fall asleep maybe 1 o'clock, maybe a little bit past that. I get 4 or 5 hours in the night and I'm good.
See, that's crazy to me.
That's
I can't.
not normal.
But it's not even my. It's not even my fault. It's the sun comes up, I get up.
My buddy Joe texted us and said, "I love hearing Ricky this morning. This is a surprise." He says,
Hey,
hello.
Joe, how
he
are
says
you?
hello. He still hasn't gotten the Bagster and cleaned out that garage of his.
Why not?
He's leaving for his son's wedding tomorrow.
Where is it?
In Italy.
Oh, that's interesting.
My godson getting married in Italy next week.
Starting
Obviously,
to get a
so-
little craving to go overseas. You know,
are?
I've always told you I never wanted to fly overseas. I don't want.
And you're
to
getting a craving to do it now?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Wow.
Starting to get a little
There you go.
itching.
Well, a little itching. They sell creams for that.
I know.
You
I
can
got
do
plenty
that.
of cream.
You can do
Yeah,
that.
figured.
Haley, anything else coming in on the text line? Anybody telling us we're stupid? It is interesting to me because I do have another social media return here on our Dallas Goddard. It goes, it just seems mean. This is hilarious. This is hilarious to me. And I'm not trying to think. It just seems mean to me that on a day that should be a celebration that Dallas Goddard is coming back, that you guys are pointing out stuff that makes him sort of be painted in a negative light. The facts are the facts. The facts are, if he had left, I wasn't in the least bit concerned. We both have made it very, very clear. We're thrilled that he's back. Like, I'm glad he's back. I'm glad that they don't have to go with some no-name brand.
No, I'm all good with Dallas Goddard being back. Okay, not good with his first name, but I'm good with him being back with the Eagles.
I don't think he can do anything about that.
I don't understand. Like, people have a problem with us saying the facts.
The
about
facts
him.
that
there are facts that follow you everywhere you go.
17 games he's missed. The Eagles have a better winning percentage than in the games he played. That's a fact.
Is it? Yeah,
They've
right.
run better. They run the ball better in the 17 games that he missed than in the 17 games that he played. And you're always hearing that, well, he's such a great blocker, they have to have him. So, but Andrew points out, and I think Andrew always makes a very good point on this, maybe they run the ball more when Dallas is out because they don't throw it as much. Because Dallas is
probably true.
And that can be true. So we're trying to be very, very fair about it. But that's where that discussion comes. It's okay to discuss stories and discuss the facts.
By the way, somebody yesterday tried getting me on Twitter about something about Dallas Goddard and Calcaterra. And I said, he goes, well, let me put it this way. I know factually that Goddard's a better blocker. I said, okay, who did you hear that from? Who did you hear it from? You know what he said? ESPN.
That he's been. I do believe.
So you won't look with your own eyes, but you'll take somebody's word for it, which I could be Joe Schmo out there somewhere saying, hey, Greg Calcaterra got the best blocking grade in minicamp. Okay.
By the way, I do believe he's the better blocker.
He is.
But I don't believe it is a huge, red flag when Calcaterra is in blocking. I don't think it's this, oh my gosh, because the Eagles ran the ball better.
Why does everybody think you and I are out to lunch when about this?
It's just facts. It's not, and then more importantly, we're not coming in going, let's find a way to be mean. It's the idea that, I wasn't that concerned. And honestly, it does leave you, that $10 million does leave you with less flexibility should you need to make a move for a veteran on June 1st. Leaves you with a little less flexibility.
Well, I was going to say, Ricky, that not everybody thinks that because we do have a text, and this is Devin from Glassboro, and he says that people don't want to hear the facts with Dallas Goddard, unfortunately. And the old saying stands true, the best ability is availability.
Well, that's the old Herm Edwards. And Herm Edwards always, that was always his thing, is that if he did not want, Bill Parcells can't make the team in the tub.
By the way.
Yes.
And the other thing about Calcaterra's receiving, people always get on him for his receiving.
Right?
All right. Well, from 9/29, September. No, we'll go September.
Okay.
October 13th. And then his next 4 games: 4 receptions, 4 targets. 1 reception, 1 target. 3 receptions, 3 targets. 5 receptions, 5 targets. What does that tell you? Guy could catch a ball.
Yeah, and he had some acrobatic catches. He's not as dynamic as Dallas Goedert.
No.
He's not as, but he is
Serviceable?
He's
Yes.
more than That tells you he's more than serviceable.
I mean, but it's funny that people will say, well, he can't catch the ball. Well, I just proved that in 4 straight games, he was 100% target to catch.
Yes.
But people will say, what? The problem is they don't throw him the ball.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's truly incredible. The idea that this is one thing is that, and we got into this discussion the other day. I love Dave Dombrowski's resume. And I am not in any way trying to make it out that Dave Dombrowski has done a poor job. But I do get upset when people just say to me, well, Dave Dombrowski, don't question it. He's a Hall of Famer. When somebody has a Hall of Fame resume and then they end up, Steve Carlton was a Hall of Fame pitcher with the Phillies.
Yes.
And then ended up with 2 other organizations at least where he was a garbage pitcher.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, to me, I don't care about someone's resume when they show up with the Phillies. I care about the resume that they have here. I worry at the fact is, what were the Phillies looking at that they said, nope, we are 100% in, chips on the table on Brandon Marsh. We don't care all that our eyeballs tell us about Johan Rojas. And that to me bothers me. Like, I wonder, like, what did they just not want to give Rojas his shot?
It's not even just that. They can't figure out a left field, center field situation for 3 years now.
It's crazy.
Think about this. Who was the last left fielder that was on this team that was an everyday left fielder? Yes, you're thinking about is correct.
Who?
Burrell.
It is Burrell. No, wait. No, there has to be one in between.
Oh.
That wasn't a platoon. Yeah, you are. You're right. You're going back.
I don't remember any left fielders.
No, because Burrell was like a 145 guy, 140, 145
And I'm talking
guy.
about more than 1 year guy. I'm talking about being here for years.
It's unbelievable.
That's hard to do.
That is hard to do. And more importantly, it's just frustrating because this team. Now, Ricky will do an analysis in the 7 o'clock hour where he's going to compare and contrast this year to last year. And I think some of the stuff, I asked him to hold it because I didn't want to hear it. But I think you might be intrigued by what he has to say, so stick around. He's got a lot to say. But I can tell you this, when you run your star horse, the star horse may end up needing some rest. And this Eagles offense may be glad it has Dallas Goedert back. We'll get to that and more coming up. Kincade Salciunas here on The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Big win for the Phils. I'm Haley Taylor Simon with your Fanatic Sports Update. This update is brought to you by Wendy's with Wendy's Breakfast 2 for $3 biggie bundles. You can choose the pair you want at participating U.S. Wendy's. The Phillies had a big 7-0 win over the Tampa Bay Rays last night. Taijuan Walker had quite the night in the bullpen. 3 innings in relief, 7 strikeouts, K'd the first 6 batters he faced, and only faced 10 batters. The Phils are looking to get a sweep tonight. The Eagles have reconsidered terms of Dallas Goedert by agreeing to a reconstructed contract and a pay cut that will keep the veteran in Philadelphia. Coming up today on the Mike Missanelli Show, Sixers president Daryl Morey will be joining the show to talk all things Sixers ahead of the NBA draft. This update is also brought to you by Hand & Stone. This Mother's Day, skip the pretty candles and give her something pretty. Amazing rest and renewal at Hand & Stone. A soothing massage, a refreshing facial, say no more. Mom gifts. Visit handandstone.com today. I'm Haley Taylor Simon on your home for coverage of the Truist Championship. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Vacation.
You need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-555-50.
Going well. A beautiful May 8th. Kincade Salciunas here on the Fanatic. Ricky Bowe in for Andrew Salciunas. Cooper a little under the weather today, so Dad is taking the nursing duties today for his son. That's a really good dad, being able to take care of things.
That is, and it's not easy. I've been there, done that. It's
mom's a surgical nurse. So let's be honest. His mom's a surgical nurse. So, Andrew, I don't mean to say Andrew's the dumb one in the marriage, because but
he is.
But he is. He's the eye candy in the marriage, but she's much more beautiful. But I mean, like he's the dumb blonde in the marriage. She's got the brains. She's smart, and so when someone should stay home, it should be Andrew, because it should be him.
Well, which is fine. She's the one that birthed them.
I mean, and honestly, it's good. So she did the heavy lifting there. This morning, we have graduation later today at Temple University, and I am absolutely a little bit of an emotional wreck today. I got to tell you, I'm very emotional today about my daughter graduating from my university, from my alma mater. We're going to share that today. As a member of the faculty, I'll be on stage as my daughter gets her diploma. I will come down and join Dean Boardman.
Does she know that? Well,
she knows it. Yeah, but she knows that. But I will step away from the faculty and come down and join Dean Boardman when she comes across to get her diploma. And I am very concerned that I'm going to hold it together. My wife goes yesterday, "Hey, I don't want her crying." I said, "What am I supposed to do?" I said, I can't control her. And she goes, I'm talking about you. Control yourself.
Think of it this way.
Yes.
It is a step into the real world.
Oh, I'm so excited for her with that.
Right. But what is there to cry about?
I'm emotional.
No. I am. Trust me.
And I know you're an
saw
emotional
my
guy.
daughter do it. You get that feeling, that overwhelming feeling. But I mean, the feeling I got was like all the work that she's been through. This is great, you know.
Oh no! I am so excited to celebrate her.
But don't do it to her.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to do everything I can.
Because it's her that's going to end up.
Right.
You know
the whole thing is she was like, there was a lot of drama, not from her, sort of, a lot of worry about whether Dad was going to be here for this because of me being sick.
Oh, okay.
So there was a lot of worry about that.
I understand that.
I want you to be, Dad. You got to be here. You got to see me graduate. You got to see. So a lot of that is in the head.
To you before?
Like when I was sick, there was a lot of that.
Oh
God. A lot of that. There's so many things I want you to do. I want you to see me graduate. I want you to see me get married. I want you to see me. So there was a lot. I need you.
By the way, you better be careful after the last one.
Oh my gosh!
If she said, "I want to see you. I want you to see me this, and this, and that's it." And
yes.
And by the way, that comes up quickly.
I was a mess at graduation.
Why?
Because I knew the best years of my life were going away.
I got to tell you something odd. My daughter did not want to really even do it.
Now, this is your Olivia, right?
Olivia, yeah.
Your Olivia, like my Olivia.
Yeah.
And
by the way, the second one you couldn't even get emotional. It was at George Washington University. It was for her master's.
For her master's.
It was 120 degrees in this freaking place.
Ooh.
See, we'll be at Leah Center, so it'll be all right. It'll be air conditioned. It'll be all right.
Oh, that's fine.
But it's
But I mean, even if I was getting emotional, I was already sweating, so it didn't matter.
She can't wait. Haley, she cannot wait to graduate. She is so excited to get on to the dinner party, to party afterward.
That's
she
what
can't wait.
like.
She can't wait because she feels like all the hard work she's put in, all the thing. She can't wait to get on. She's got a job.
Right, which is exciting.
She starts at the end of the month.
I'll tell you what, I wish I did the dinner. Like, I wish I picked where to go for the dinner.
I went to Topgolf.
We went to this place in D.C.
Yes.
It was actually terrible for food.
Really?
And
You should have gone to Joe's.
me and my ex ended up paying a ton, but she chose it. It was bad. And there were like 4 people that didn't show up. We had to pay for those 4 people.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, yeah.
We
That's
got
not good.
we have the Christina, my wife, is got it all set up. Got the dinner party set up and everything. We're all set. And they got the Uber for her friends coming from Temple with her because her friends are all, she's getting out in 3 years. Mm-hmm. So her friends that she came in as freshmen with, they graduate next year. So they're coming to graduation to see her graduate, and then they're going to go to dinner tonight and everything, go to the party. So then they'll
Get your wallet out.
Oh, no, it's already, we're all set. Ready
Oh,
to
I'm
go.
just saying.
I know. It's going to be good.
It's a payment plan.
Oh, it
here.
is. It's ready to go.
So, all right, we are WPN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio. We're powering possibilities.
All right, Ricky Batalico in for Andrew Salciunas this morning here on Kincade Salciunas. A little story about Saquon Barkley. You've probably heard, and I know that Bill Colarulo does a really good job talking about this too, is that when you hear about a running back go over the 350 carry mark in the NFL, it has always been the danger zone. It's always been one where people say, uh-oh, you should be concerned that a running back went over 350 yards, 350 carries. But I would tell you, though there are dramatic numbers that tell you the next season is never going to be as good, there are recent numbers in this generation, so the last 20 years, that tell you if the running back is special, you can maybe disregard that. So Sean Alexander, if you remember with the Seattle Seahawks, he hit the 350 carry number in 2004. So, in this generation, 20 years ago, with a monster stat line, he had 1,696 yards, 16 touchdowns. And the next year, he followed it up with 370 carries for 1,880 yards and 27 touchdowns. So he followed up a great year, and he was able to do it back-to-back. Now, he's an outlier. Terrell Davis had 369 carries in 1997, put up 1,750 yards. He followed that up in 1998 with 392 carries for 2,008 yards. Now, the third year is when it all fell apart for him, and he had a career-ending injury. By the way, Sean Alexander, same thing. He had the 2 great years back-to-back, and then a career-ending injury. Clinton Portis in 2005, 352 yards. 352 carries for 1,516 yards. And then the next year, it fell apart for him. But still, here's the average numbers for you just so you have them. When a running back has 350 carries, 62.5% of them the next year reach 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. So around 2/3 of them get to 1,000 yards and 6 touchdowns. Only 2/3. 46% of them manage to break the 1,200-yard mark and get 8 touchdowns. So if you're expecting 2,000 yards again, or if you're expecting 1,800 yards, the numbers are going to tell you Saquon Barkley's got to be a unicorn. It's just that doesn't tend to happen. But Sean Alexander and Terrell Davis would tell you it can happen.
It definitely can. I'm going to ask you an odd question.
Okay.
How many times did Saquon Barkley get hit hard last year?
I don't believe he took a physical beating.
He did not. He didn't. I mean, I think it's just that simple. I think the offensive line is so good that the shots he took were just like they weren't taking a huge toll on his body. I think he has another really good year.
So that's an interesting way of looking at it.
I do not think they started chopping down the tree. How's that? If I were going to look at it in some way, you take your axe out, you start chopping down the tree. Okay, they've taken 300 shots at that thing and they put a little dent in it. Where some guys have you're already halfway through that tree.
That's a really interesting
I do
way
not
to
believe,
look at
like
it.
Earl Campbell. Remember when Earl Campbell used to play? This guy used to get hit hard, and he would keep running. Mike Allstott, same way.
And they would have to churn their leg. You would always be talking about them churning their legs, getting 2.
And by the way, Bettis
yards.
is one of those guys with the number of hits. And you know who used to take a beating, and this is because I remember this somewhat well, was Eric Dickerson.
Oh, my gosh.
He used to get hit a lot. He was tall, so chopping down the tree was a little easy. But the thing is, though,
he ran tall.
I don't believe this tree even has a notch in it yet.
See, now this is why we don't do the show before the show. That's an angle that I honestly have not really even thought of.
Because when you look at, think back to last season. Did he have his bell rung at all?
No. In fact, no, there was maybe one game where he left.
And that was, hold on.
I forget what game he left.
Wasn't that a hand? It was a hand.
Where we were like, uh-oh.
It was like a hand injury.
And when he left the game, I remember the building going, crap.
Yeah, but I don't think that was anything but a hand injury.
But I think he left for like a series.
It was against the Steelers.
It was the Steelers game. And I think he left for a series.
Yeah, and then he came back.
At that point, and he came back.
My whole point is, do you feel like he was beat up?
No.
No, I really do. There's something about you waking up this morning. That makes me feel good.
Thanks, John.
That makes me feel good.
A minute. Just thanks about the morning thing.
That really makes me feel good because I honestly, I thought about this because I really do believe Saquon. Look, do I think he's going to get 2,000 yards? No. I wonder, if I said to you right now, what do you think when we look at our Bet Parks app? We're Bet Parksmen.
Yes, we are.
What do you think Bet Parks is going to set his season yardage at?
Somewhere in the 16 or 1,700. 1,600 range.
Okay, if they put the number at 1,600 and a half yards, are you betting over or under?
I'm probably going over.
I think I'm going to go over too.
I think he's going to be closer to 1,800.
So you're thinking 1,800. I'm thinking that
I think 1,600 might be a fair number to throw, and 15 might even be the number in a casino.
I'm thinking that 1,500. I'm thinking that because in my head, when I think of Saquon, them having to say, okay, Saquon is because after what the Chiefs did in the Super Bowl, the Chiefs sold out to stop him.
Right, and that didn't work.
It did. Well, it didn't work because the passing game exploited them, but it did work on him. Do you think there are going to be teams that are going to say, "We're not letting Saquon beat us," and our defensive backfield can handle?
I think there were teams that tried it last year, and it did not succeed. The one thing about the Eagles, when they stick to the run game, they stick to the run game.
I think
and here goes that one hole that's open and 70-yard touchdown.
And that was the thing, is that there were the games where Saquon busted one in the third or fourth quarter, that the numbers really shifted.
Well, they're going to shift. Anytime you go over 30 yards on a carry, it's
then
going to
all
shift.
of a sudden it all shifts.
And he had a bunch of them. I mean, there's a guy
the New Orleans game, he busted it open. The Rams game, he busted
the Rams game for sure.
But I mean,
the Commanders
game. I mean, he ran all over them at that point. I just look at it right now and I just say, with Saquon, I don't expect there to be a huge drop-off, but 2,000 is so crazy. If 1,500, if they could pencil,
I think I was thinking about it more and more. 1,500 is probably going to be around the number. I mean, I'm thinking this is Saquon. He could do whatever he wants, but still, 2,000 yards is a ton.
I think it's also important, too, that you develop behind him this year.
Remember when we thought a couple of years ago when Miles Sanders goes over 1,000? Wow, what a great year.
That it was a big deal.
He doubled that.
Oh, it was incredible. What we got to see last year, and I'm glad they ran the wheels off him last year, though, because you wanted a ring. He wanted a ring.
I still think he didn't get hit enough and didn't take too many big chops.
So if there is going to be a drop-off, let's say Saquon goes for 400 or 500 less yards, then more pressure falls on Kevin Patullo to draw up an offense that makes up for that. What's the pressure like on him? We'll get to that next. It's Kincade and Salciunas with Ricky Patalico guest starring here on The Fanatic.
Philadelphia Union Soccer.
Salciunas is brought to you by the Bet Parks online casino and sportsbook app. Live bet sports on the Bet Parks app. And play all your favorite casino games. Bet Parks has a great offer for new users. Got to be 21, Pennsylvania, Jersey, or Maryland. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I took off tomorrow morning because of the day after the graduation party tonight. And so Christina's like, so what are we going to do fun tomorrow? I said, well, after sleeping in and maybe sleeping off a little bit of just the exhaustion. She's like, we could always go to Parks. I said, okay. She likes to day gamble.
Oh, you do too, don't you?
She likes to, well, I do too. Let's be honest. I'm not going to complain if she says, do you want to go play a little blackjack? Yes. Sure.
Yes.
You think the odds are better or worse?
I love
during the day. I mean,
I think
don't know.
I don't think that
It doesn't matter, honestly.
Thing is, well,
I
I
guess
think
if you're
I
playing.
think the odds are better because the tables are cheaper.
5s and 10s instead
No,
of.
you get 10s, 15s.
Yeah.
I think the odds are better because the tables are cheaper, so you are more. You can, it's not as crowded, and it's fun, and I can always get third base.
How long could you sit and play?
Ricky? As I've said, and
I'm just being honest.
I'm not sure if you know this or not.
I know you love
and
blackjack.
Andrew can attest to this after traveling with me. And we talked about it on post show headlines yesterday. Like there's every once in a while Ricky would be like, boy, does he ever shut up? But it's church. I won't say a word. You sit next to me in church, you'll never hear me speak. A plane, and Andrew learned that on 4 flights. He's like, God, you don't talk on a plane. Nope, don't talk on a plane. Blackjack table. Do not talk at a blackjack table.
What?
No.
Actually,
What?
that's the one I could actually understand.
I sit at third
when
base.
When people talk to you at the blackjack, you get like annoyed.
I'll smile. I'll say, hey, how you doing? That's it. I do not, don't converse. Don't want a
Definitely
conversation.
annoying.
Don't wait. I want to focus on what I'm doing, and I don't converse. So it's that I could sit for hours. When we go to Vegas, at the my wife will know exactly where else we usually stay at Bellagio. My wife will know exactly where to find me. She knows to find me in the sports book, the blackjack table, the pool. She knows I'm one of 3 places.
Can't you do it all at the pool now?
No. I have to be. No. You can't play blackjack at Bellagio at the pool.
Not yet.
Some spots
casinos
can.
Some
you
do.
can.
But Circa, that's Circa Sportsbook.
Yeah.
If you haven't done that, the pool sportsbook, it's the weirdest thing you've ever seen in your life.
They have all the TV screens right in front of you, right?
No, it's as big. The TV screens are bigger than Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, they're huge.
And you are in the pools. You can also play blackjack in the pool. You can play poker in the pool. You can drink in the pool. You have the bars and the
That would
swim-up
be out of
bars.
control.
The pools are out of control. It is so cool. And by the way, you also don't have the jabronis in the pool. They don't it's not like, hey, the frat party's breaking out in the pool. They're like, no.
Oh.
No. Let's not have this breaking out in the pool. So it's cool. It's a lot of fun.
I played for 8 hours when I was in Vegas.
That doesn't seem like a lot.
8 hours would be long for me.
What do you mean it's not a lot? That's like a full night's worth of sleep.
No, because
Like
let me put
consecutively.
it this way. I can remember back when I was playing. My brother loves like 3-card poker and stuff like that, or blackjack. He will sit there. He has the patience. If he was playing in a hold'em tournament, he has the patience to stay all day long.
See, I can't.
He could sit there for 25 straight hours and with a poker face, and I'm like, all right, I'm done.
See, we'll go out to dinner. We'll go out to dinner in Vegas, and then it's little kiss goodnight, bye. She'll go play the slots. I'll go play blackjack.
You know what mesmerizes me?
What?
Video poker machines.
See, I can't do it.
I love numbers.
Oh, so you like doing it?
Oh, I could sit up.
See?
That's why. But that's
Do you
why
do the
I
one
always,
at the bar?
Yeah, I'll do sometimes that, like
Okay.
the Ultimate X. I love.
Oh, okay. But that's
there's
good.
even more
there's
numbers
fun with
involved.
that. Yeah, there's fun.
Like there's multipliers involved.
there you go.
I just like it. I just have this thing where, and I like the colors. I don't know what it is. Like my mindset.
Well, that's what they get you on.
Yeah, it could be just my mindset.
I found out why Ricky came in this morning, Haley.
Why is that?
Because it's a Wendy's Thursday. Someone's going to win a $50
Watch
Wendy's
this.
gift card,
You
too.
know who's the one that started your Wednesday
here
Wendy's
we go
Thursday,
again.
right?
Yes, Ricky Batalico.
There you go.
Thank
When
you,
we used to
Ricky.
do, what did we used to do?
Ricky Bonos.
Ricky Bono's Wendy's breakfast 2 for $3 biggie bundles lets you choose your perfect duo from your fave 4, including a sausage or egg and cheese biscuit, small seasoned potatoes, or medium hot coffee at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Who's chasing today?
What do you mean?
Going
Picking
to get
up?
it.
I'm not sure who's bringing it in
I know
today,
who it
but
is,
it'll be
I
good.
think.
You do?
Probably Vito.
It's probably
yeah, probably Vito.
Yeah, he's probably sweating. Okay, so Kevin Patullo is under fire a little bit because to me, he's the guy who's going to have to make this new concoction work. And with all of the tools he's got at his disposal, I'm expecting a better offensive game plan than I saw last year. I was disappointed with Kellen Moore. I really was. I was
were
disappointed.
you disappointed because there was a lot of running game?
Yeah,
There wasn't an equal mix?
And I didn't think that – I thought the passing game was bland. With all those weapons, I thought it was a boring –
You didn't need them. I'm sorry. I'm
Okay.
not – it's not like I'm backing Kellen Moore up because
Okay.
I think it was a little bit more vanilla than you could ever imagine this team should have been. But when you look at it, did it work? Yes.
Oh, no.
So how
I
do
got
you
that.
stop-
I got that.
Look, they went with the passing game in game one. It was okay. It was down in Brazil. The field sucked. We all know about that.
Sure.
And then, 2, 3, it didn't look great. What was it, the Tampa game?
The Tampa game was
Go
atrocious.
down in Tampa, and they were
But
just awful.
No Lane Johnson, no A.J. Brown, no Devontae Smith,
I know,
right?
but there's something about the Buccaneers against this team that just never works very well.
And it does.
But after that, they realized, hey, we could run the football. We're not going to stop running.
You believe in Patullo, though?
We'll talk more about it.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I want to know. Ricky's thoughts on Kevin Patullo. And also, Ricky's going to get in and share his thoughts on how different are the 2025 Phillies from last year's model. They won 95 games. But could this year's club really be better? Could they get to that number? We'll find out. Kincade Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
A big win for the Phils. I'm Haley Taylor Simon with your Fanatic Sports Update. This update is brought to you by Erie Insurance, celebrating 100 years of protecting your family's most priceless moments. Then, now, always. Erie Insurance, erieinsurance.com. That's erieinsurance.com. The Phillies had a big 7-0 win over the Tampa Bay Rays. Taijuan Walker had quite the night in the bullpen, 3 innings in relief, 7 strikeouts, and he K'd the first 6 batters he faced. And amazingly, he only faced 10 batters. The Phils look to get the sweep tonight. The Eagles have reconsidered terms with Dallas Goedert by agreeing to a reconstruction contract and a pay cut that will keep the veteran in Philadelphia. Now coming up at 10:30, Sixers president Daryl Morey will be joining the Mike Missanelli Show. This update is also brought to you by Wendy's with Wendy's Breakfast 2 for $3 biggie bundles. You can choose the pair you want at participating U.S. Wendy's. I'm Haley Taylor Simon on your home for coverage of the Truist Championship. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Salciunas. That's Ricky Pitalico. John Kincade with you. Kincade and Salciunas here on The Fanatic on this beautiful Thursday morning in May.
It is beautiful out this morning.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
You know what's beautiful? Traffic at this time in the morning when I was going in. Maybe not right now.
There is none.
But when I came in about 5:15, I was like, wow.
Except I saw the elusive neighborhood coyote again this morning.
What?
We
How
have
big
You
is
have a
it?
coyote?
Okay. Yeah, we have a neighborhood coyote. And yesterday they put out the neighborhood alert that the coyote was out during the daytime. Around 8 in the morning it was out. I saw it in the dark this morning. As I was leaving out in Landview, we were,
Is he hunting you?
Guess what? The coyote, no, I was in the car. The coyote is well fed. I'm not seeing ribs I'm not seeing a rib cage or anything.
Well, he's eating out of everybody's garbage, I'm sure.
Well, the thing is, are you kidding me? We're not allowed to have garbage out. You get garbage out, they bring in like an injunction.
I almost hit one on a road one night. It
Of
was
course you
dark.
did.
No, it was dark out.
They're dark.
It was dark. It was raining. And I see this
'Cause it looks like a
shadow
wolf.
moving in front of me. I slam on the brakes. I got up to it. These things are huge.
Because, Haley, it looks like a wolf. It looks like the big bad wolf, but smaller. But it's like it's bigger than
This
a
one
fox.
was-
Bigger than a fox, but it's bigger than a dog.
Yeah, you think it's just a dog, and then it looks at you. You could see
And
those teeth.
Oh, no. It has that, weird...
Gnawing.
Yeah, weird mouth thing.
A snarl.
We have 7 miles of walking trails that you can walk through.
Yeah.
And one time, when I was on the trails, I'm hearing the crack, crack, crack. Because they don't want confrontations with humans. And boom, there it was. And I was like, oh, crap, don't get in trouble. So Kevin Patullo is the offensive coordinator. Dallas Goedert's coming back. We find out yesterday. And one of the discussions that Andrew and I have had constantly about is the idea that is Kevin Patullo, is this going to be a Brian Johnson all over again? He's a guy who has been around the NFL forever and has never been promoted to this position. And I was pointing out that it took 6 years it took 5 years for Kyle Shanahan to be able to call plays in the NFL. It took 6 years for Sean McVay to be able to call plays in the NFL. It took 6 years for a lot of guys. It's taken 17 years for Kevin Patullo to get the opportunity. And to me, I'm not trying to belittle the guy's skill set, but I do wonder why nobody has ever said, you know what? That's the guy we want to poach. That's the guy, because I think the league knows these are the guys we want to grab off of this guy's staff.
Right.
Are you concerned?
Am I concerned? I think the offense is going to look a little different. Okay. And I know people will say, well, Kellen Moore was a, motion type guy, early motion, preset motion.
More. Yeah.
And yeah, you didn't see a lot of it. And preset motion, and he was going to pass a lot, and he realized that he actually had a realization that, hey, we could actually run the ball very effectively, and it's an easier game plan.
Sure.
And then you look at Kevin Patullo. I'm just going to bring up some things that he's done since 2012. Offensive assistant and assistant wide receivers coach.
Okay. Which is what Sirianni was.
Quarterbacks coach. Senior offensive analyst. Wide receivers coach. Okay. Pass game specialist. Pass game coordinator with the Eagles. Pass game coordinator and associate head coach. Now offensive coordinator. What do most of those have in common?
Pass.
Yes.
Which makes me excited.
Which should probably make you a little bit excited, but
Because
will he know when to run?
Will they have a desire, because of the contracts that they've signed A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith to get more of a return on that investment? Because they're investing at wide receiver as much as any team in the NFL.
Right. You ready for this?
Yeah.
How many plays does Nick Sirianni call this year?
See, now there's another angle.
I'm not going blind on this. I am not doing it. I believe that Sirianni wants to be a part of the offense again, and this is his way of doing it. A rookie offensive coordinator calling the plays. Nick's going to be more on the offensive side this year. We've already heard that. You don't think he's going to be calling plays? Or at least in somebody's ear?
Because he's my boy. He's my boy. He's my
he's
guy.
Your boy. He's an associate head coach.
I got you the job.
I love the associate head coach because he's not there to take your job.
Well, believe me. Like Brian Johnson went down to D.C., and he was Dan Quinn's associate head coach. 2 creams, 1 sugar. I know because Dan Quinn would join us at training camp.
That's horrible.
And Dan Quinn would join us at training camp, and I knew that when one time he was like, we had Dunkin' Donuts. And he's like, oh, you didn't even get me one? And I found out his coffee order, and the next time he joined us, I knew his coffee order was 2 creams, 1 sugar.
Oh,
so
man.
I know Brian Johnson knows the order. So I said, I don't want to belittle Kevin Petula.
I understand what
but
you're
it's the
doing.
idea is that what's he going to do?
What is he going to do? I mean, his resume says that he's going to pass the football.
And the thing is, last year it took an embargo of the offensive line going into Sirianni's office, knocking on the door and saying, no.
And
we're better at running the ball.
And when you look back, would you have done anything differently? No, not after week 5.
No. I loved it because I was begging for it because I wanted them to run the ball.
So, which offers the question: is the change good or bad? That we believe that he's probably going to go to more passing because of his background.
I do want more passing.
How much more though? Is this going to be
10, 15%?
Okay.
Because I would like to have less workload on Saquon. I really would. I'd like to have less workload on Saquon. I really would like to see that just for my own peace of mind.
What if it's not working, game 1?
Oh, no, well, then I'm fine. No, because I'm fine situationally per
Well, I
game.
guess you could make the adjustments in game.
Yes.
In a sense that,
I don't need Saquon.
Garbage today.
There were games last year where they had to run Saquon deep into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I'm hoping this year that it could be more. Remember 22? Remember when the fourth quarter we had like sort of laugher games?
Yep.
I don't think this schedule is going to allow us a lot of laugher games.
The schedule is not easy.
No.
I mean, and I'm not saying, by the way, I'm saying this because of the teams that are on it.
Sure.
And they're just not going to be easy. Are they all winnable games? They're all winnable games. These are the Eagles. The Eagles are the best team.
Yes.
But when you start running into 2, 3, 4 good teams in a row, that's when you run into problems.
It's going to be a little tough. So I wanted Ricky to have a little bit of time to share with us because Andrew and I talk about these things. And with your insights, and we hear them in the afternoons on the afternoon show, there's been some people, and I always am of the belief, and I'm not sure, I think we talked about it before, I don't care about, I look at them, but I don't care about the baseball standings till Memorial Day. So I don't really care about the standings till Memorial Day. Not really worried about them. But I do then look at a team 50-some games in, and I say, okay, I have enough of a sample size to sort of figure out who they are. Even though in 2022 and 2023, the Phillies ended up being a much different team after Memorial Day, both of those years. I want to know, though, from your eyeballs, 36 games in, do you think the Phillies are on pace to be a comparable team to last year? Could they be a better team than last year? Or do you think that they're worse than last year?
In all honesty?
Yeah. I want you to be honest. Ricky, I always want you to be honest.
It's all about a peak. When do they peak? And when does that peak come back downhill?
Were you worried last year that they peaked too early?
The way they were playing. I said this from the beginning. I said it till I was blue in the face. That London series destroyed the year.
I remember you saying that, and honestly,
people laughed at me.
No, I may have texted you and said, seriously, dude? At the time, they were...
I just know...
Were they 25? They might have been 25 games
over...
They were
ridiculously beating the hell out of teams before.
They were 25 games over 500 leaving London, I think, or something. And I think I remember texting you, hearing you say it, and going, really? Like, yeah. They're boat racing people.
But it turned out that was the turning point.
Oh no! They played one game over
500 the rest of the year. That's not.
But why though? What did you see that would have caused alarm?
Well, I want you to think about this. Let's say you were coming into the show for 200 days in a row, and that was your life. And then all of a sudden, they gave you 5 days in a row to vacation. How's that next day feel?
You got to get back in the rhythm, and
yeah.
You
don't think it's different in baseball?
Oh no.
They gave them 2 days in a 5 or 6 day stretch, and they flew 15 hours in that whole situation.
Okay, that was second week of June.
I don't care when it is,
but you can't fix it in 3 months.
You lost your groove. It has nothing to do with anything else. No matter how much you practice, you're not getting them game reps when everybody else is playing 5 out of those 6 days. You've played twice. and it was kind of a show.
Okay.
It was kind of like going to the Met Gala instead of actually playing in your game. That's what I think. And I think especially for relievers in that situation, probably didn't hurt their starters that much because you're once every fifth day. But relievers, you're going to get out of whack. And it's exactly what happened. Go ahead, take a look at numbers after that.
It's really weird to me because I would say to myself, if like, okay, you go on a week vacation. I went to Jamaica in March, first week of March. Yeah, when you get back in, that first day back.
Hate to tell you what they should do is send 4 teams over, 2 different stadiums. Boom, 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 boom. You play each other
for like a week,
different cities.
So you play 2 series.
So like
for a week,
Paris and London.
Okay,
because then you flip flop, and then you end up playing 6 games total.
So then that gives you more of a. It becomes more routine.
It's like more of a routine. You only get 1 day off before, 1 day off after.
What do you think about all the sightseeing and stuff?
Probably didn't help them.
So
I mean, I'm
help.
sure. Let me put it this way. I've always said this. You might have heard me say this. That I went to a lot of cities. I didn't see enough of those cities when I played.
Like Andy Reid makes them, when they go overseas, Andy Reid makes them business trips.
Yeah.
He doesn't make them vacations.
Smart move on his part.
And spouses enjoy Kansas City back home. Like he wants them to be business trips.
Good for him.
And he
That's
says a lot
move.
of people take, like he's like, look, guys, this is a business trip. If your family wants to come along, mom and them, they can go sightseeing, but you're going to be, this is a work trip. Yeah. And he limits their time there.
Boy, Haley's on top of these break times.
She is all on it, man.
I'm locked in.
HTS. And wait till you hear Haley with headlines coming up in the next hour.
Uh-oh.
Watch out, B-Gun and Connor.
Hey, the Eagles have aging veterans begging to get in the door from other teams. Is that a good thing? Kincade Salciunas with Ricky Patalico guest starring here on The Fanatic.
We want to hear from you. So text us.
morning's going well. Hopefully Cooper Salciunas is feeling a little bit better.
You think Coop gets the Coop every morning?
I hope he does.
That's awesome.
Great kid. He loves his cars. He doesn't love his 100-and-something degree fever, which isn't good. But the daycare stuff.
I had one of those this week.
You did?
Yeah.
You've had a few fevers. Like you guys didn't have a great winter as far as spreading around the viruses.
I didn't miss any time though.
No.
Like I came in, Silvana ended up being sick on Monday, which she gets sick all the time.
She does. These young kids get sick all the time.
But
I don't understand it. They're always sick. They always got something going on.
So I don't know. I came in on Monday and I had the aches.
You had
on
the
Monday
aches.
morning. And I took a shower and it was kind of gone. So I figured I did a little baseball stuff on the weekend, so maybe that was it. And then like we got to the 5 o'clock hour and my hands were ice cold and my head was hot.
Could it be working with Connor?
It could be.
Could be because he gives you the
that
aches.
happens.
But I got home and I took a couple like PM
Tylenol or something, or
no, they're like a leaf
NyQuil or something. Oh, okay.
Boom, out like a light.
There you go.
Slept all night.
Slept it off.
And then I woke up next day. I was like, all right, time to go.
All right, Justin Simmons is a former Denver Bronco. Safety, multiple-time Pro Bowler, has played for Vic Fangio. Last year he played for the Atlanta Falcons, came in here and played a really good game in Week 2 on Monday Night Football. But he's out of a job. Atlanta had him last year on a 1-year contract, and they said, yeah, we're good. You can go. And he was on a 1-year contract last year when Atlanta signed him. Nobody was, begging to sign him. But he's begging to be an Eagle now. He's letting Baldy. I love Brian Baldinger. I love Baldy's breakdowns and everything about him.
He is good.
He's just such a good dude. I learn every time I watch one of his things. But he's begging. Justin Simmons is begging to be an Eagle. And I love the idea. And one of our followers on X making the point that he really does enjoy the fact, go Birds, JD says, I love the Eagles being the ring chaser destination for veterans. He just needs Howie to be smart about who he lets chase rings here. But I got to tell you, I think that he is a guy that has, Justin Simmons, that definitely has something left in the tank. He's not a bad player at all. Talked to a couple of my buddies last night, cover the Falcons, said, what's Justin Simmons got left in the tank? And they both said the same thing. Left in the tank? He's got plenty left in the tank. He's just not an A player anymore. He's not an A player. They go, he's got plenty left in the tank.
Plenty left in the tank. Then why isn't Howie jumped on this?
Because they just said he's not an A player anymore.
So he's a B player.
He's a B player. He's a B player. And so I then followed up with the question is he an impact player? And they're like, impact? He goes, not this one guy who covers the team on a daily basis goes, certainly far better than serviceable. And the other guy says, impact, no. Flashes of impact, yes. So what do you get from that?
The guy, what I get from that is it's a veteran impact.
The guy who covers them every day says he's not an impact player, but far better than serviceable.
What the hell does that even mean?
He goes,
he's a little better than average?
No, but he's far better than serviceable. Like, this guy is going to come in. He's going to be, like, he's not just a guy that's going to give you good.
So he could play the position.
And they both sort of said to me, what are you talking about? Left in the tank. This guy definitely has left in the tank.
He could play the position, but he's going to get burnt at times. Is that what this is?
It's going to be. He's a
Patterson
veteran, right.
type.
That's where he's at. But to me, I don't know, is you just drafted a guy in the second round. And Makuba, do you want Justin Simmons there? Do people want him there just because you want a veteran presence? Because right now, your highest tenured player in the locker room is Jordan Davis.
My boy.
Now, Haley's happy about that. Haley loves that. But it's hard to believe you have a 25-year-old.
What's that look?
I'm just listening.
Well, she loves her Jordan Davis jersey.
Don't give me that look.
Her Jordan Davis jersey is a very good luck
Are we
charm.
going to go to jerseys right now?
No, it's very good luck
Well, it's a
charm.
knockoff Jordan Davis jersey that's 12-0 at the link, and it went to a Super Bowl and solid
Yeah, she got a
championship.
12-0 knockoff Jordan Davis jersey. And the young Chinese children that stitched it, they did it with charm.
How bad is it?
It's good.
Oh, no. Hey, seriously.
You can't tell.
Now they're going to their kindergarten graduation today. The kids that made her jersey.
There you go.
So that's it.
There you go.
Where Haley buys her jerseys.
They worked hard. Now they're going to school.
Where Haley buys her jerseys, it's unbelievable.
How much it cost you? 50 cents?
$14.
No, she has to go to the bank, convert it to the yen,
By the way, I got to tell you
and
something.
then buy her
I got to
jersey.
tell you something. There was something I
man.
was getting for my daughters, and I knew it was too good to be true. And it was like a.
What was a Schwarber jersey that was
It may have
$7.99?
been. It was like $20-something. I'm like,
What?
This looks pretty good. I'm going to
That's
get this.
not-
And it was
yeah.
like an American name, but when it all came down to it, it was like your order will be shipped in 2 days. You will receive it in 2 months. 2 months.
2 months.
That's
What's
not
it?
bad.
The hell's it coming from?
A slow boat from China.
It was. It was.
My
Like
Castellanos
it literally was.
4 months.
They're Castellanos.
$9 for Casty Too Nasty.
A Castellanos.
I believe I got one of the shirts that was misspelled. It's just not good.
That's unbelievable. That's really.
Well, what do you expect? For you go cheap, you're going to get cheap.
You're really.
I'm just saying. I'm not knocking
I could
you.
say a lot, but I'm not going to.
No. I'm not knocking you. I'm
Her
just
Jordan-
saying you go cheap, you deserve cheap.
well, luckily it's a knockoff.
Her Jordan Davis jersey. I think it has a Flyers logo on the shoulder.
Some
not
say
sure.
Union.
I'm not
By the way, don't you love when they say like, "Oh, you're buying the real jersey"? People say, "Well, I bought the real jersey."
What?
Then why does it have sleeves on it?
Exactly.
Somebody tell me that.
Yeah,
you're
come
all
on.
being scammed.
You're being scammed.
The
Yes.
real jerseys, if you look at their sleeves, they're like elastic bands.
They're like this. It's just it's that little elastic material that you could go with your thumbs.
They're literally pennies.
You could go with your thumbs and expand them.
Would you
because
say
that's
they're
the fit of-
pennies?
Yeah, they are pennies.
Yeah.
It's like the hockey pennies.
Yep.
Or whatever. You just go to the shoulder band. So that way the shoulder bands can fit.
She loves cutting us off.
No, but we like this.
No, I understand.
This is what means this is clock
Haley, I'm
integrity.
just playing with you.
I know.
Haley understands it. We're going to check your texts and social media commentary next. Plus, revisit our top story as the Eagles bring back a huge weapon on offense. It's just the matter of how big do you consider the weapon? All coming your way next. He's Ricky Batalico in for Andrew Salciunas, who's playing the nurse today, but he's married to a nurse. Strange little change of roles. It's Kincade Salciunas on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
A big win for the Phillies. I'm Haley Taylor Simon with your Fanatic Sports Update. This update is brought to you by Wendy's with Wendy's Breakfast. 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles. You can choose the pair you want at participating U.S. Wendy's. The Phillies had a big 7-0 win over the Tampa Bay Rays. Taijuan Walker had quite the night in the bullpen. 3 innings in relief, 7 strikeouts, and K'd the first 6 batters he faced. And yes, he only faced 10 batters. The Phillies are looking to get the sweep tonight. The Eagles have reconstructed terms with Dallas Goedert by agreeing to a reconstructed contract and pay cut that will keep the veteran here in Philadelphia. Sixers president Daryl Morey will be joining the Mike Missanelli show coming up at 10:30. You don't want to miss that. This update is also bet to you by Bet365. Bet365, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app today. I'm Haley Taylor Simon on your home for coverage of the Tourist Championship, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Philadelphia Sports.
Thursday morning's going well. Ricky Batalico in for Andrew. Cooper Salciunas a little under the weather. So Andrew taking care of Cooper. And Ricky kind enough to come in today. You were supposed to be off today, too. This is why this is called team play.
Yeah, it is an off day.
So if Fergosi,
I did take it off.
Let's say you had let's say you were told you weren't pitching.
Mm-hmm.
So you knew you were going to you had pitched 2 nights. But Fergosi wouldn't. No, he would have pitched you 3 days in a row. He wouldn't have cared, right?
No, he wouldn't have cared.
He wouldn't have cared at all. But let's say he told you had the day off, and then somebody shows up in the bullpen with an upset tummy that night, and you get to the ballpark. How would Fergosi have told you you're pitching tonight? Just be ready.
We got some issues in the bullpen. Just be ready tonight. That's it.
You sounded like
he goes, I know you're supposed to have a day off.
With that gravelly.
Hey, I know you're supposed to have a day off. Just be ready tonight. Never know. That's it. And then he would let it go after that.
He would.
But then you'd have some guys that are dumb enough to pitch me the night before elbow surgery.
Well, that doesn't sound smart.
Well,
that's really not.
That happened, and it does happen in baseball. And
that's incredible.
They literally said, like, my elbow, I'm going to show you. You can see it on YouTube.
Right.
It's probably like there. I could not straighten it anymore. I had 2 quarter-size bone spurs in it, so it wouldn't straighten out. And sooner or later, I had to have surgery, and it just got to the point where I couldn't extend. So I had a surgery scheduled for Monday. This was a Sunday night baseball game, and I'm in the dugout, and he says, you need to go down the bullpen. We talked to the doctor. You can pitch tonight. So I run down the bullpen. I come into the game. First 3 pitches hit the backstop, warming up. And then I ended up having a 1-2-3 inning and then surgery the next.
And that really did. It was the trajectory of your entire career.
Yeah,
got affected.
Well, it hurt my shoulder is what happened.
Exactly, because then you compromise.
Yeah, and them trying to bring me back from a surgery. Let me put it this way: Jake Arrieta was making $25 million, had the same type of surgery, less spur,
right?
So a less invasive one. He was out for 5 months. I was out for 1 month. 1 month.
That's incredible.
Well, if I knew, I was trying to tell him.
Well, were you not protected?
You come back and your elbow is huge, and they're still saying, "Oh yeah, you got to get that out of there. Pitching's the only way." And I knew.
Were you not protected by agents back then as well?
They didn't protect us at all.
So the agents did not protect you well back then.
No. Well, the Phillies were kind of negligent at that point because they made me pitch, and they knew I was still hurt. Like literally knew I was still hurting.
And that, but when
they were trying to trade me at the time.
But when you say the Phillies, does that mean? But it would have been. Do you think that would have been the Pirates, the Dodgers, any organization back then? Back then, that's the way baseball did it.
I don't know, especially when they're looking to trade you. Yeah, they got to get you back to.
That's the way baseball teams did it back then. They didn't give a damn.
I told you about it. It was just very odd the way it came. Like if I would have known how it comes back when I felt normal. I went from throwing 83 the next day. I remember warming up, throwing. What I would do is throw a light bullpen or a bullpen session every 7th day to see where my velocity was. So it was 84, 85. Wow, taking those huge jumps. One day. Down, it was beginning of September.
Oh boy,
96. Guess what? It's back, and that was it. But at that time, the damage I had done to my shoulder was evident. So there it was.
Okay, so we're gonna give you a chance to win $1,000 coming up.
Ooh.
The keywords coming up. So you got a company-wide contest, so stick around for that. So on social media today, Haley, have we been getting crushed on Dallas Goddard? It seems like we've gotten a little bit of things going both ways on Dallas Goddard opinion.
It's definitely both ways. It's 50-50. No one kind of sees it the way that you guys do, which is seeing it for how it is.
Okay.
A lot of text messages, but this one in particular I want you guys to react to.
Sure.
No name on this text message, but from Pennsylvania, and they say that Goddard is the most overrated tight end in football. Not even in the top 15. No other team would want him, so obviously he's not good. That's what the texter said.
Well, the one thing is that, and it is real, is that it's not opinion. It's not meant with agenda, but the Eagles win at a better in the 17 games he's missed over the last 4 seasons. The Eagles win at a better clip when he's out. The Eagles run the ball better at a clip when he's out. Those are just numbers.
Well,
do with them what you want.
Yeah,
but
you basically sent out facts.
Those are facts.
Those are facts. So
And-
I mean, what do you do from there? You're sitting on facts.
Yes,
you can't
It's nobody's trying to knock him. No one's trying to say anything negative about him. But those are the facts. Things are they've never had a problem when Dallas Goedert is out. The Eagles have never had a problem covering for it. So to me, that says something. That's why I didn't have any concern. And Andrew was saying he would have been borderline devastated. Like if Dallas Goedert was gone. And I'm like, are you serious? Why? And he was like, but he was thinking of the big plays. And I understand that. There's big plays.
And people kind of look at this and just say, look, number one, I think my whole point is it doesn't matter who you have at tight end. You're gonna win football games.
And
I think that's my whole point, which all these numbers just kind of go out and prove.
Hey, let's give someone a chance to win $1,000.
The Fanatic signing bonus.
Your chance to win $1,000. The contest keyword today is playa. You don't have to say it like that. Just type it player. You have until 25 minutes after the hour to enter it on the Fanatic mobile app or at 975thefanatic.com. Player. Or you can text it to the special contest short code, shorty, 45911. One random entry wins $1,000 in this company-wide contest. Contest rules at 975thefanatic.com. The Fanatic signing bonus is sponsored by Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia, voted the best casino in Pennsylvania by Casino Player Magazine. 5 chances to win each weekday. You got 8 o'clock. Then you got 10 o'clock and 12 noon with the Mike Missanelli show. And then 3 and 5 with the afternoon show. So every player out there, text it in right now. Good luck. Your chance to win that $1,000. There you go. What station are we on?
We are WPN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio. We're powering possibilities.
So we've been talking a lot about that. The Dallas Goedert situation was one of them. The Mike Missanelli show, by the way, today, Daryl Morey joins the show at 10:30 this morning. Mike asked people on social media last night if they had questions that they wanted him to ask Daryl Morey. And we all know that social media is a very kind and gentle place. And so Mike got some questions. Why are you still employed? Ask Daryl Morey why he's still employed. Who do you have naked pictures of? Someone wants to ask Daryl Morey. What does Elton Brand do? So, of course, you're going to get those questions. But if I asked you, Ricky Bell, when you passed Mike Missanelli leaving today, what would you put in his ear to say, ask Daryl Morey this?
Is his job on the line? I would like to know. I would like to know what he needs to do to solidify his job with the Sixers right now. To have a solid grasp on his own job.
Like what is the case that has to be?
It's almost like you've seen Office Space.
Yes.
Tell us
exactly what you
do here. Why not?
Yeah,
I mean, what has he done to make this team better?
I expected.
He brought in a new head coach, Nick Nurse. I think that is a step in the right direction. We don't know yet.
I don't know what Nick Nurse is as a head coach with the hodgepodge that happened this year. I got to tell you, though, by the
way, if I threw garbage at you and said play with these guys, you would say it's garbage. I can't.
The only thing I would say is this. I didn't really dig his body language this year.
He it's not even quitting. I think he accepted losing this year.
But, yeah, he sort of had that.
Yeah, if you lose, you lose. What do you do?
He sort of had that look about him. And look, every one of us gets frustrated.
Right.
Every one of us gets frustrated. And if Nick Nurse was frustrated this year, God bless him, we understand it. But I think you're supposed to fake it till you make it. You're supposed to bluff it and say you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to make that face.
Do you think that he was told by Maury, hey, your job is safe. Don't worry about this mess right now?
I'm sure. And the thing is, I was shocked, though, that Josh Harris, who, by the way, cannot miss an opportunity to have a microphone shoved in his face down in D.C. for his childhood favorite team, the Redskins, the Commanders. He can't wait. Like, he loves being in front of a camera for Redskin fans. He loves being in front of he's there with President Trump the other day at the White House.
Yeah.
He's loving every bit of it. By the way, next to President Trump, he looked like an Oompa Loompa. I mean, honestly, he looked like, it was like he was so beaming to be there to talk about the Commanders' new stadium, to talk about the NFL draft coming to D.C. He's so happy about everything with the Commanders. We get nothing out of Josh. It's as if Josh Harris, we are like an afterthought. We are an afterthought.
Yeah, he's a 1 in 100 guy. He shows up 1 in 100 games.
It's like we are the afterthought. He owns the Devils. He owns owns the Sixers. But now he owns his childhood.
But the Commanders are now successful. The Devils are successful.
Well, he owns his, and the Sixers are not.
Right.
And the Sixers are headed for another.
Let me ask you something. Business-wise, you owned all 3 teams.
Right.
Where would you be?
Oh, I'd be with the Commanders.
Right.
But I would not let a business entity that I own appear that way. I couldn't let it appear that way.
You have to at least show face sometimes.
Yes, he has to be visible to
Why?
his customers because you have to be. By the way,
It's a bad look.
some really, really quality people that were around the Sixers organization were all around the Commanders organization because he drove them down 95.
I think the most visible owner is John Middleton.
I think Jeffrey Lurie.
I saw Middleton twice in 2 days.
No, I think John Middleton's great, but I think Jeffrey Lurie's extremely visible too. Like extremely, Jeffrey Lurie's fingerprint is very big in the.
Yeah, but do you see him all the time?
No, but you see him at least 2 home games a year. Work the parking lots.
Yeah.
You see him at the Eagles autism event, working the parking lots. I mean, Jeffrey Lurie's out there walking around and meeting people. Now he's got Big Dom and the security team and everything like that, but. He's there. He's there. He's around. John Middleton. I've seen him twice on the concourse at down there at the Phillies. I've seen him twice.
He actually was eating dinner with us up in the press club.
I think that's fantastic. I think it's fantastic. But the one thing I would say is that I would ask is that but it's great to stroke the check, but where's the accountability for what's going on? Like as far as like this off season, what was the plan? What was the plan?
What is the plan for the Sixers?
What's the plan for the Sixers? What's the plan for the Phillies? I didn't know what the off-season plan was for the Phillies. Roll it back?
I can tell you what happened is my guess.
Okay, give it.
Is limited amount of money to go out and get somebody.
Why is that?
I just think
luxury tax thing. The next threshold?
I just think you're actually looking at the team and saying, well, how much money do you want me to spend on this team to win? You have enough money there, Dave Dombrowski.
Which I do agree. He spent a lot of money. You can't free up any of that money?
Apparently not.
Or you weren't willing to. You couldn't move money?
They couldn't. I know they tried
they
tried to trade a couple guys.
Yeah, well, you know you couldn't move Cash.
And I think that was for money situations to get somebody else.
Right. Okay, we're going to check other stories that you might have missed as Connor Thomas and the one and only Brendan Gunn better be shaking in their boots. Haley Taylor Simon, HTS, takes over headlines coming up next. Kincade and Salciunas on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Mike Missanelli.
What is an inventory?
Kincade Salciunas, Ricky Vitalico in for Andrew Salciunas today. Cooper a little under the weather. We appreciate you finding us. A lot of stuff going on today. Phillies' big win last night, 7-0. They win another series. They're 8-3-1 in series this year. It's really, really good.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
You look at this series, would you say they should win this series?
Well, they already did this.
I said they should sweep them before the series.
I'd like to sweep. Yeah, I thought they'd win the series.
I mean, it's getting a little bit more embarrassing to me that actually a pitching staff could look like this on a major league team. Not the Phillies.
No.
And the Phillies are doing all the right things, don't get me wrong. But when you're as stupid as the Rays are, you should beat them up like you did.
That's nice. Nice to see them get beaten up. The text line will always be open for you at 610-632-0975. But let's first, because usually it's Connor, then it's the one and only Brendan Gunn when he's out.
I stole Connor from you.
Yeah, and then so now what do we do? Let's check out what today's headlines. Let's hear what this is about.
Today's headlines with Haley Taylor Simon.
Wow.
I know.
That's
I love
sleek.
it. It is nice. And today's headlines, by the way, is brought to you by Lundy Law. For over 70 years, Lundy Law has been fighting for injured people. If you need them, remember the name Lundy Law. Your injury lawyers, visit lundylaw.com. That's lundylaw.com. All right, so it's not going to be headlines without hockey, Haley. The NHL playoffs have been absolutely phenomenal right now. It's the Panthers and the Leafs, with the Leafs up 2-0. But let's go look at the NBA, because there's another series that is up 2-0, and that is the Knicks over the Celtics. And here's the play from the final call of last night's game.
Tatum maneuvering. Oh, the ball knocked away. Another great defensive play for the Knicks. They've got it. They've won it. New York has gone up 2-0.
So my question to you guys is, a lot of people from Philly are kind of rooting for the Knicks right now to beat the Celtics. Is that a violation? I want to know your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm rooting for a roof collapse. I can't watch Celtics Knicks. I mean, the game was great, but I can't root for either team.
Where am I from?
You're from Connecticut.
Yeah, who do I hate?
I know you gotta hate.
I hate Boston.
You gotta hate Boston.
I hate every team in Boston. I'll say it. I don't care.
And I know
hate the Red Sox, the Patriots, the Bruins, and the Celtics.
And I know some people from Connecticut, from Hartford area, that they adopt Boston,
which is pathetic.
Which I hate.
It's very split. I've always told you about that. They used to do the 50 states in 50 weeks with Sports Illustrated.
Sure.
My mailbox was in Sports Illustrated. You know why?
Why?
The median between Yankee Stadium and Fenway Park.
Oh, my gosh. You were exactly medium?
They wanted to take a picture of my house at the time, but I was in Major League Baseball at the time. I said no.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Idea.
That's crazy. I can't root for either team, and I'm never rooting for the Knicks. So I'm never rooting for New York.
I don't have a problem with the New York Knicks.
If it's them beating
You don't?
the Celtics.
I don't.
Well, I tell you this. I do like the way the Knicks play basketball. So
they play with some guts.
They do. I like
you went
the way
into Boston and you took 2.
That's amazing. I like the way they play basketball, because I saw Joel Embiid and James Harden gutlessly just roll over in Game 6 and Game 7 against Boston. A Boston team, by the way, that wasn't as good as this year's Boston or last year's Boston.
I like Thibodeau in a sense, the way he prepares his team. Look, they got down last night, and he was interviewed during the game, and he basically said, "We started off slow. We're going to put some pressure, see if we can't turn it up a little."
When his team's down 20, they come back with defense.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is always impressive.
Well, against the Celtics, that may be the answer.
You know what else is impressive?
What's that?
The Go Birds chants. That is right. D. Lynam, our very own D. Lynam, spoke to Jason Kelsey, and this is what he had to say on Go Birds.
Go Birds is definitely that's been the thing I hear most now. I think just anywhere, it's just so quick, and it's more of like a call and response.
So my question to you is, I'm at the Phillies game, and I experienced the biggest violation. The Phils are up, and all I hear is Go Birds from all the fans. Is saying Go Birds a little bit too much a problem?
I see it as a local source of civic pride. I don't find it as a distraction. I don't find it as you're slighting anybody.
Yeah, but I get it during the season, but off season
you don't get it.
Off season, or if it's draft day or something, I get it.
So you don't get it. Like last night, if you watched the game on NBC Sports Philadelphia, which we did, There were Birds chants were just, it was incredible.
But those are people that just want to get on TV somehow, and it's not working.
And it was loud.
Yeah.
It was loud down there in Tampa. It was really loud. I loved it.
What are they trying to say? That I don't know. I'm sorry, but at a baseball game, hockey game, basketball game. Well, basketball game, I get it because they
that's okay.
suck.
Yeah.
But
Go Birds.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would it offend you if you were a Phillies player?
I used to hate it when they used to do it.
Oh, so it would offend you.
Well, they used to do it at the vet.
Right.
And it was like, are you serious?
Does it offend you more than the wave?
Wave, I didn't care.
I hate the wave.
I didn't like when I was pitching when it was
right.
going
Well, the
on.
wave, the people doing the wave when you're pitching,
They can sit down.
it's sheer ignorance. It's just ignorance.
Yeah, because, you got to understand, there's moving colors. That just means if you throw a ball and it gets popped up and there's all these moving colors, players might not see it go up in the air.
It's not fun.
No.
Not fun.
And then finally, I'm going to respond to the question that you asked at the start of today's show.
We're thrilled that Dallas Goedert's back, right? I'm glad he's back. I'd rather have
Absolutely
him.
love it. I do love it.
I'd rather have him than not. But I think we can have honest conversation about it was not going to be this black hole of despair if he left.
So my response is this. The Eagles did not draft a tight end in the first round or at all in this draft. And to me, that is the biggest problem. There's not much you can do, not a lot of trades that are possible. So yes, keep Dallas, pay him less than you probably would another tight end in this league that's well respected. But again, I'm not upset about this. And it was the smart decision by the Eagles.
Yeah, I think it was smart after the draft because it is. He's a guy who understands the system.
It's a double whammy. I think they didn't have any takers, number one.
Nobody wanted him.
And number two, Dallas took a cut, but it was guaranteed money. So there's a lot of...
He has all that money. By the way, too, and I did check the thing, and I love this because I've got some buddies of mine who played in the league, and I've had a couple of them show me the wire transfer thing, which is really cool. When they would get the guaranteed money, they'd go, oh, here's what it looks like. Like when the wire transfer.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
So I walk into the offices after the agreement. They have the paperwork there for me to sign.
You sign.
Once my John Hancock goes on it,
the wire transfer.
I will look at my bank account.
The wire transfer literally happens before you leave the offices. You can look at your phone and you get the alert. You know, like how you get bank alerts?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
You just had.
There it is. And you
just had a deposit.
You have a deposit of $7.3 million or something like that.
Yeah, probably.
By the way, do you know some people? Do you know Jeff Francoeur? You know Jeff.
Yeah.
Big fan of yours, by the way. Jeff,
I always liked Francoeur.
And Jeff loves you. You're one of his players he really loves. I like you a lot. He loves you. Jeff Francoeur has not spent $1 of his signing bonus that he got coming out.
Was that like his thing? I'm going to save this forever?
His father and his family said never touch it. He's never touched
he a number one?
Yeah. Gronk has never touched his signing bonus that he got.
Gronk never touched his paychecks.
Yes, never
You know
did.
what he did?
Never did.
Would do
He
advertising.
lived off his endorsements. He's never touched it. He has it, and he can still show it. The account that it's in.
I wish I did that, although it would have been taken anyway. So
Hey, the impact of Dallas Goedert. What, 50%? The impact of Dallas Goedert is most certainly debatable. We'll get into some of that again in case you missed it. John Kincade and Ricky Pitalico on Kincade and Salciunas here on The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
A big win for the Phillies. I'm Haley Taylor Simon with your Fanatic Sports Update. This update is brought to you by Wendy's. With Wendy's Breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles, you can choose the pair you want at participating U.S. Wendy's. The Phillies had a big 7-0 win over the Tampa Bay Rays. Taijuan Walker had quite the night in the bullpen, 3 innings in relief, 7 strikeouts, 8 the first 6 batters he faced, and only faced 10 batters. The Phils are looking to get the sweep tonight. The Eagles have reconstructed terms of Dallas Goedert by agreeing to a contract with a pay cut that will keep the veteran here in Philadelphia. Coming up today at 10:30, you don't want to miss this, as Sixers president Daryl Morey will be joining the Mike Missanelli show. This update is also brought to you by Can Air Beyond Memorial. Get matched and sleep at night during Mattress Firm's Upgrade Your Sleep sale. Take 120 nights to love your new bed or your money back. Restrictions apply. I'm Haley Taylor Simon on your home for coverage of the Truist Championship. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
on this Thursday, beautiful morning. Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic. We appreciate you being here. Andrew's not here today. Cooper a little under the weather. He's taking care of his son, and he'll be back tomorrow. I will not be here tomorrow because today's graduation day for Liv at Temple University. So I'm going to cut out the last segment so I can go and shower, and then I got the robe. Put the robe on. It's the first time I'm going to walk as a member of the faculty. So I'll be there as I see my daughter get her diploma today. So I'm very excited about that. So it's going to be a really, really fun day today.
You're going to cry.
I'm hoping I don't cry.
You will.
I am a crier, though, at times.
You know what actually makes me tear up all the time?
What's that?
I mean, obviously, things your daughters do, you have that great pride, which sometimes makes you tear up. But outside of, like, family stuff,
okay,
the soldiers coming home and they don't tell, like, their little kids. And just the general reaction of children when the soldiers come home, how awesome is that?
It's fantastic.
There's nothing better.
I think I have 7 of this year's students of my class this year. And I think I have 6 of last year's students graduating today, too. So I'm going to I believe I'm seeing 13 of kids that I've taught also walk across that stage today. And I feel very attached to my students that I taught. Like, I love the kids I've taught. They're just great kids. They're just really, really fun and everything. And I'm going to get choked up seeing them on their graduation days. So I know it's going to be an emotional day.
Is it wild?
Oh, yeah. And I will be so excited. When it's done, I will be so excited for afterwards. And I say, you said you had Christina planned the party afterwards. So we got a nice dinner party going. Looking forward to that. Great spot.
See, I could tell you got some.
We're going to DePaul's.
I could tell.
You know DePaul's?
I have. I could tell right now that you have that thought process of just hold it together. Just hold it together.
I am. It's hold it together because the one thing I don't want to do is
the worst part for you. You're going to be standing up on the stage.
Yes.
With other professors.
Right.
And then she's going to be like fifth in line, and what's going to happen is your throat's going to go into your stomach.
Well, then it's her, and then when her name's called, then I'm stepping down.
I know.
Going to meet her, and I just have to hold it together. And I've been warned to hold it together because the one thing is it's
not going to happen.
Well, the one thing is it's her day. It's not my day. It's her day.
When my little brother graduated last year, I had to be strong and brave, and they call his name, and I'm like the big sister, really proud of Casey. I began hysterically crying. Like, to the point, John, we're at his graduation dinner, and I look at him, and I just begin bawling my eyes.
Oh, jeez. I'm hoping not.
It was bad.
Like I said,
my daughter was like all smiles.
Oh, my God.
Penn State, she was just all smiles.
Liv will be that. She's going to be. She's looking forward to the graduation and the party.
Yeah. What I do remember, the Bryce Jordan Center was hot. It was hot in there too.
Boy.
Like they didn't turn the heat on yet. It was kind of cooler outside, but it was hot inside. It was nasty.
I had a pre-graduation drink in my gown.
Uh-oh.
Of course you did.
I had to. West Virginia, you have to go out with a bang.
And then she's looking forward to Livapalooza down in Atlantic City.
I don't know if Haley wanted to say that.
Well,
no, because that might end up somewhere.
Yes. The discussion today brings us to another point, and a gentleman says here, he goes, John, have you not figured it out yet? It's a different Philly than you and I grew up in. He said, I'm older than you. I'm 64 years old. My son is 42. He said, I look at him sometimes, and I wonder if he's adopted. I know I raised him in Drexel Hill. He's a proud Bonner grad, just like his dad is, but I wonder, was he raised in the same household? Because he's soft as baby poop.
Ooh.
He'd say the same things about Dallas Goedert. All you've said are facts. He said, but he felt the same way. Oh my gosh, what a relief, Dad. They re-signed Dallas Goedert. And I said, they never really lost anything when Dallas Goedert was out. He said, I don't understand why it's controversial to just say the truth that the Eagles were just fine whenever Dallas Goedert was out. And I think that he goes, I love my son. I'm being using hyperbole, but I do believe the fan base is completely different, much more fanboy, much less critical. And you played in front of Dad, the dad who just wrote that. You played in front of him in his prime.
Yeah.
You played in front of me in my prime, like as a young man, as a fan. It's not the same as the fan base that these guys play in front of.
No, it's a lot different now. It's a lot
much
Do
different.
I want to say softer? Yes.
It is softer. No, this city is softer. It is.
It's gotten to be.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's gotten to be where your landing, used to be all bricks. Now your landing is a bunch of soft pillows.
And the thing is that
here's the thing.
Okay.
You know that if you're, let's just say Major League Baseball, you get 15 lives. It's not like one shot and done.
Which there were at times.
They're making 50 times the money right now
Sure.
that I made, and you get 15 times the opportunity. The opportunity was not always there for at the first sign of failure, you're done. When I used to play, I think that was the worst thing that baseball is that it was cutthroat. You're done. I mean, it was almost hard to root for your teammates.
Because you realized they could be taking money right out of
They could be taking my job.
Yes.
They could be
right. They could
you
be
don't
cutting
blame
out.
them because that's what they're there for.
No, because you were trying to take someone else's job.
Right.
At that point. And again, it's not soft in a way, as he's saying, he's using hyperbole, but it is different. Is that just talking facts about players in this town 30 years ago would have been the nicest thing that was ever said. But it's the truth. He's missed a full season of the last 4 years. Mm-hmm. In the last 4 years, Dallas Goedert has missed a full season of games.
Correct, 17 games.
And in that full season of games, the Eagles have run the ball better and have won at a higher rate than the games that he's played in. That's just factual.
There's no sugarcoating the numbers. You can't sugarcoat a number.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that anybody's trying to.
This is the Garrett Stubbs thing. Like
Vibes,
in a sense, where
Vibes, baby.
You don't have him on the team. That's why you're losing. What is wrong with you?
Nobody
Number one, if you think there's one player on your team, if he's not there, you're going to lose. You got a problem.
Now, I've only been in the clubhouse twice this year so far, so I haven't been down the clubhouse a lot this year. I walked in.
It needed to be more businesslike.
And
I'm not saying
I got to tell you,
it didn't seem like
it was. It didn't seem like it was a morgue.
No, it's not.
It didn't seem like anybody was sitting around going, "Man, we don't have Garrett."
Where's the DJ at?
That's
DJ
because you're
AAA.
100% right, and it's not.
And I've been in a lot of clubhouses over 30 years, 30-some years. I've been in a million clubhouses, like of all sports, and it doesn't seem like it's a. But the Phillies clubhouse, I got to tell you though, the Phillies clubhouse doesn't seem like a bag of laughs. Like it's not a team that has a bag of laughs clubhouse. It's not like a. They're not like a. I was in your clubhouse.
Ours,
and I was
out of control.
I was in the 93 clubhouse, and I've said it before.
But they were kind of out of control back then.
The 93 clubhouse was the worst clubhouse I've ever been in.
They didn't want to talk to you guys.
No, they were mean.
John Kruk, he was one of them.
John Kruk was awful.
Yeah. He didn't want to talk to the press.
He was an awful human being to us.
Yeah.
Dave Hollins was the worst, and now you introduced me.
Dave's one of the nicest guys in the world.
You introduced me at the Darren Dalton Celebrity Bartending event to Dave Hollins. Just said, "Hey, I'm working with John," and I reintroduced myself to Dave. Dave couldn't have been a better person.
He's unbelievably different.
No, I didn't recognize, and I told him so.
Yeah,
he's an amazing guy.
It's like something flashed, and it's completely different.
No, I think he's in a different mindset.
Oh yeah, yes.
But he's a fantastic person.
Good for him, though.
And he's a fantastic person. Yep. Hey, I'm going to put Haley and Ricky Batalico to a test.
Game on, Rookie Bo.
The Great Arena Test.
Should be fun.
We have a new arena in town starting September 1st. Does the arena name matter? We'll find out next. Kincade Salciunas on The Fanatic.
Connor Thomas.
Here's the thing with Aaron.
is going well, and I hope you had a safe drive to work, because that's always important. Andrew likes to tell you that here on Kincade Salciunas. Andrew will be back tomorrow. I will be taking a day after the graduation party tonight.
They might make you come in for the afternoon show.
No, they will not.
That was funny, huh? Hal?
If it was
So
needed,
funny.
if it was needed, I would. But no, I doubt I would.
That's what happened here.
I'm just going to have a good
I felt like
appreciate
I
you.
was needed, and I felt
Well,
like I was appreciated.
It
So
was
I
an
came
emergency. We don't have anybody that hey,
We miss you.
the little birdie.
I doubt that. I'm going to say that was false.
I texted you guys both in a group chat too last week.
Yeah,
No reply.
It's when?
What do you mean no reply?
From both of you. I texted you guys something last week.
I always reply to you.
I don't think I got it.
Well, Ricky doesn't reply to me.
I always reply to you. And Ricky's one of the green people.
Android.
Yes, I am.
Well, that's what it was about.
I think I almost do it on purpose now.
I never can text. I'm always, because I listen to the afternoon show on my iPad. So I will be on my screened-in porch, or I will be down in the Kincade, and I'll be relaxing, and I'll be like prepping for tomorrow's show, or just doing something stupid, and I'll be listening on the app on my iPad. Anybody else at the station, I can text them via my iPad, except for Ricky. I have to grab my phone if I want to text Ricky and harass Ricky, which
Well,
sometimes
You know
I
what?
enjoy.
Hey,
Well,
if it
now-
makes it tougher on everybody, I'm all
I
for
enjoy
it.
harass.
I think we should get rid of phones in the world completely.
well,
of
believe
course
me.
you think that.
Ricky hates the phone. It's one of our.
Why? You and your generation are just stealing people's money.
Well, at least we
You
can
wonder
use
why
this-
people can't eat
Whoa, 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 whoa.
because of OnlyFans.
Whoa, wait.
I hate the phone.
Just
No,
don't
like-
subscribe to someone's OnlyFans.
I hate the
I
phone.
don't. I don't, and I don't condone it. I think it's almost thievery.
It's degenerative. It's a degenerative part of society.
People have it's no different than being a gambler.
No,
It's no different.
it's not.
The phone is absolutely every bit of being a degenerate gambler. In fact, it's worse.
When I was a kid?
Because you know why? Because there's 8-year-olds and parents have 8-year-olds with their faces in the phone. 10-year-olds with their faces in the phone. I see parents going out to dinner that literally get to the table, and because they want to have adult conversation, they reach into a bag, and here's mom giving the 6-year-old an iPad, an 8-year-old an iPad, a 10-year-old an iPad, so mom and dad can sit, or two moms can sit and have their conversation. They're just giving the kids their devices. I'm telling you, they're going to dread it.
Well, no, and as a waitress, well, that was like a
Oh,
year ago.
geez.
As a year ago, I kind of like stopped.
Yes, it's all right.
Still in the group chat. But I saw that all the time at the dinner table. They had like specific iPads for going out to eat.
Yeah, I get it. It has ruined our country. Nobody knows
is.
how to take care of anybody.
But they both
All
take
these
the same
people that have the
chargers.
computers take care of their kids. You know why? Because they're pathetic parents.
You know what's a good thing is too? Is
Okay,
that
angry Ricky.
there is one.
Well,
no,
you know
it's
what?
not.
Call me what you will. My kids grew up in that. You know what?
Yeah.
And you
Rarely,
didn't let it.
rarely did they get computers.
We've as 21, and my daughter is friends with Haley, loves Haley. They even
Love
like
Liv.
DM each other and stuff. They love each other.
It is true.
Olivia's graduating college today, and she will tell you, Haley, she's never eaten a dinner at our house watching television,
You can't.
except one exception: if we're eating food where the Eagles game is on and we're having people over and the Eagles game is on.
yeah, that's
That's the
different.
only thing. She's never watched TV with the TV's never been on during dinner, sitting watching dinner, and no phones at the table ever. Put your phone away. No phones at the table.
See, that
no
was a belief
devices
we
at the
had.
table.
We had
no
that
devices.
same belief.
So it's just it can be done, and we had everybody saying to us, "You'll see, you'll see." No, it's just what you do.
Well.
You'll see. So all right, here's the Great Arena Test. So it's the Xfinity Mobile
Yes.
Arena. You were trying to, Haley. Andrew and I yesterday said it's the X. It's the X. You were trying to make it more complicated. What were you trying to make it?
All right, so it's the Xmo, the Affinity Mobile, the Finmo, and then the Finmobile.
Okay, the Finmobile made me smile. I got
That
to
was a
tell
good
you,
one.
the Finmobile made me smile because it's mobile. It
Yeah.
made me smile because that made me laugh. And the thing is, I'm thinking about Kate Scott. I'm thinking about Jim Jackson. I'm thinking about the broadcasters.
By the way,
that have
Jim
to use-
Jackson sent out, well, I'll be spending the summer saying Xfinity Mobile Arena over and over again.
Well, the thing is,
And he will.
I'm thinking about them though. What if Jim Jackson doesn't have to worry about it when he's out on the golf course? Or Kate Scott doesn't have to worry about it, and they just have to just say the Finmobile.
No, they're going to say the X Center.
Or the X, like,
X
or
Arena.
the X. Or the X. Welcome to the X.
Oh, welcome to the X.
Well, see, now that's cool if they do that. I want to give you guys does the name of an arena matter?
Yes,
Yeah,
It does, okay.
It kind of
All right,
does
all right.
have to flow.
I'm going to ask you right now.
it does.
Ricky and Haley, yes or no? Does the Jex Pro Arena exist in the four major sports?
Jex Pro.
Is Jex
What
Pro
is Jex?
I don't even know what that is.
is
No,
Jex,
you got to think about it.
is Jex Pro Arena a place?
I'll say.
I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say yes.
It does not exist.
Boom.
Haley, does the four major sports, does Pepto Place exist?
Yes.
No.
It does not exist. It's 1-1. You guys are tied 1-1. Does Smoothie King Arena exist?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you both get a one there. So it's 2-2 at this point. Does X-Lax Arena exist?
No.
No.
It does not exist.
I was going to say.
Two of you there. Does Trojan Place
Yes.
exist in the four major sports?
Yes.
For major sports, no.
No. That is correct. Ricky Patalico goes
Oh,
up
college.
4-3 in the battle. It does not exist, by the way. Because then some of the seats would have to be extra large. Some of the seats would have to be
And then you got to get these
the
tiny,
small
tiny
one,
little
the tiny
seats.
seats. Yeah, that'd be tough on that one.
Oh, it
okay.
happens.
Does Stouffer's Arena exist?
No.
Yes.
It does not. Ricky's up 5-3. Haley, you're just about to be eliminated. It's
You're
first-
getting suckered into these
It's
now.
It's first to 7. Haley,
I'm gullible.
you got it into this. Does here you go. Okay, here's the next one. Does Red Bull Arena of the four major sports? Does Red Bull Arena exist?
Not in
major
the,
sports.
not in the four major sports.
Not in the four major
It's
sports.
in Newark, New Jersey.
Okay, you both get a point.
I
It does
cheated. I
not
just
in
looked at Ricky.
It does not in the four. It does not. Well, you don't need that because
It's in Newark, New Jersey. It's the Red Bulls play there.
It's 6-4. So Ricky gets the next one.
Oh, no. Wait, that's a bad strategy I had.
It's 6-4.
Yeah.
See, there's a bad one you got at this point. Okay, here is the last one. Does Haynes Place exist in the four major sports?
I'm going to let her go.
Yes.
Yes, you said?
She says yes.
Just
No.
Ricky's right. Haynes,
Haynes Place.
like Haynes underwear. There it is. 7 Haynes.
Come on.
Ricky wins.
Really? You thought
There you go.
Haynes Place?
So
wouldn't
there
that
it
be
is.
kind of funny, though?
It just goes to show you, though, the corporate names. You never know what corporate names are on arenas. And there it is.
By the way, does the Wells Fargo Center exist?
Till September 1st,
September,
it does.
yeah.
Well, that's false. There's 2 of them.
There's another
Oh,
one
in
where-
Canada, right?
I think it's in Albany.
oh.
in Albany. There you go.
Watch, I think there's a Wells.
There's Albany, Georgia. So you got that
Albany.
too. Albany, Georgia.
Albany,
All right.
Georgia.
Well, the NBA has a much less punitive lottery
Des Moines,
system.
Iowa.
Oh, is it? The
Close
NBA
enough.
has a much less punitive lottery system. So the Sixers could have a fun Monday night. We'll tell you why the NBA clearly understands math better than the NHL. That's coming up next. It's Kincade Salciunas with Ricky Patalico guest starring on this very special edition of Kincade Salciunas on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
And a big win for the Phillies last night. I'm Haley Taylor Simon with your sports update. This update is brought to you by Sequoia Outback. Stop in for their annual Spring into Sequoia sale going on now. Route 309 in Hatfield or at decksupplies.com. Experience the ultimate in outdoor living at Sequoia Outback. The Phillies had a big 7-0 win over the Tampa Bay Rays. Taijuan Walker had quite the night in the bullpen. 3 innings in relief, 7 strikeouts. K'd the first 6 batters he faced, and he only faced 10 batters. The Phillies are looking to get the sweep tonight. The Eagles have reconstructed terms with Dallas Goedert by agreeing to a contract with a bit of a pay cut. that will keep the veteran tight end here in Philadelphia. You don't want to miss this because coming up at 10:30, Sixers president Daryl Morey will be joining the Mike Missanelli show, talking all things Sixers ahead of the draft. This update is also brought to you by Wendy's, the Wendy's Breakfast 2 for $3 Biggie Bundles. You can choose the pair you want at participating U.S. Wendy's. I'm Haley Taylor Simon on your home for coverage of the Truist Championship, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Ricky Vitalik.
Going really well. John Kincade and Ricky Vitalico on Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Everybody's switching chairs today. HTS. It's not a K-pop band. It's Haley Taylor Simon.
Ladies and gentlemen,
She's in for Brendan Gunn. Did you ever do the any of that K-pop? Did your daughters both were in that Korean pop
No,
era? They didn't, though.
I did not.
Olivia liked it. She liked it for a little while. She had like her little K-pop. We had to go see the store in Times
Who?
Square. The K-pop band.
They're called the store.
BTS. No, BTS is the band. Like you are HTS.
I was the original. I got
could
called
be.
HTS before BTS
Yeah, that
was
HTS.
a thought.
That could very well be. Here's why, Haley, and you're going to be bothered by this, but this is why the NBA is better than the NHL.
Oh, yep. I'm already
And as
bothered.
far as this, because it's just smarter. And the thing is like, I've said it before. You know the dog poop app, Ricky, where people pay somebody to come to your house and walk your dog during the day when you have to work?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
You know
about.
what I'm
Yes.
talking
All right.
I wouldn't hire Gary Bettman to walk Nikki Foles if Nikki Foles had to be let out.
I got to tell you something.
Gary Bettman is a dope.
I hate him.
He's a dope.
He's the reason why the Hartford Whalers left.
No, he is,
Yeah.
and he's the reason why the Atlanta Thrashers left.
punk.
He's that's why he went. He took from one of the top 8 cities in the country, and he took a team and he put them in the farm country of.
How do these guys not wake up? He's been there since 1993. Get new blood in there.
He's a
Get
dope.
them the hell out.
Well, Gary Bettman comes up with a lottery system that says you're bad all year, you struggle all year, and I understand a lottery is supposed to keep people from tanking on purpose.
Right.
So you're supposed to make it slightly punitive that if you tank, you might get penalized. But the Flyers finished with the 4th worst record, right, Haley?
They did.
4th worst record in the NHL. And with that 4th worst record, they went into the game. They went into the lottery the other night with a 1/3 chance of either holding their pick at 4 or improving their chances and going up. No, I'm sorry. It was 1 out of 5.
It was 1 out of 5.
It was a 1 out of 5 chance. It was 20% chance of improving, staying at 4, or getting better. So 80% of the chance was they were going to get worse, which makes no sense at all. Makes absolutely no sense. You were the 4th worst team. So it's not like you were purposely you weren't doing the process.
In all honesty, if you're like the bottom 4 teams, 1 through 4 should just be you guys. And what happens is it should be a 25%, 25%, 25%.
For the number 1 pick.
So you don't sit there and tank the whole time. So you get the most percentages.
Yeah, I think some teams were trying to
see.
tank.
I think a system where you said, if you did the lottery and said bottom 4, where you said the bottom 4 are going to all have an even chance.
Then the next four also are in
yes.
the 5, 6, 7, 8.
And then you do that, and then from that point on, you could even do 9 through 12 if you wanted to, and just do that. Make it that way. But the NHL makes it that the Flyers literally, they had a 1 out of 5 chance of getting better and a 4 out of 5 chance of being worse. So they made it totally punitive.
It's a joke.
Have you seen the NBA numbers, Haley?
I have not.
For the Sixers, who finished with the 4th worst record?
And what are those numbers?
The Sixers have a 42% chance of holding their own or getting better. Mm-hmm. The Flyers had a 20% chance to get better
But
or
yet,
hold their own.
And it's ironic, in my opinion. I'm not a conspiracyist, right? But you take away the All-Star game in New York, and then all of a sudden, New York, who has a 3.5% chance of getting the first overall, gets it. And besides that, Utah, too, moving up, also messed up the draft order.
And by the way, too, if you want the conspiracy theorist on that, because I do believe in that conspiracy. Mm-hmm. The Islanders lost, by the way. The reference was they lost the area, lost around $6.9 million in revenue by losing the NHL All-Star game.
Oh, they were also the team that Ovi broke his record against.
Well, I don't know about that one.
I'm just saying there was a lot going against the Islanders that they get rewarded with a first overall.
And then they get the first overall pick.
I just
But also
think it's
then
a little-
Utah announces their new team logo and their new team name.
Which is
Did you
stupid, by
hear it,
the
Ricky?
way.
We're going to talk about it next
The
hour.
Mammoth.
The Mammoth. So they announced their new logo, their new name, the day of the draft.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's just weird. How it all
Why
comes
would you
out.
do that?
They just decided it was the right time to do it. But I'm saying to you here, the Sixers finish with that bad record, and they have a 42% chance of holding their own or getting better. Whereas the NHL says, Flyers, you finished with that 4th worst record, you have an 80% chance to get worse. It's so stupid. Gary Bettman is the worst. He is
dumb.
absolutely terrible.
I could not stand him from day one.
So from
I
day
think
one, you didn't like him.
He is the snarkiest, stuck-up person I've ever seen in that position.
Don't dig him. Really don't dig him.
And I also want to say,
What has he done for the NHL?
Oh, he took them off of ESPN and ABC
Really good move.
and relegated them to the Outdoor Life Network, which, by the way, if you have cable and you can find it, I got $5 for you. I mean, seriously, it's the Outdoor Life Network. He moved them he made them irrelevant. When he took them off ESPN, ESPN stopped showing their highlights on SportsCenter.
Well, you do know why ESPN actually started, right?
No, what's going on?
The Whalers.
What do you have?
The Whalers needed a TV station to show them on TV.
Okay.
And what better way to do it than open your own?
I didn't even know that.
Bill Rasmussen.
Really? That's what it was?
He actually worked for the Whalers.
Wow.
And then when he was let go by the Whalers, and then he was like, I'm going to see if I can't open up this little studio in Bristol, Connecticut.
That's what happened.
And then their first hockey game they had on was the Hartford Whalers.
Greatest
song in the
Brass
world.
Bonanza. Haley, you're too young for Brass Bonanza.
I know hockey.
But you didn't know Brass Bonanza because you didn't have to get to hear
Their
that.
goal horn song?
Yes.
Yeah,
Brass
I know.
Bonanza's the best. It used to be my ringtone.
I had it as my ringtone at one point, but
Yeah,
I don't
because-
even have my volume up now because I do so much.
Yeah, you have to turn it off all the
I
time.
do so much
Really fast.
on-air stuff.
I'm a hockey nerd. So what do you think I do for fun when I'm at home?
Who's the greatest Hartford Whaler of all time? Also one of the greatest hockey players of all time.
Well, he's now the general manager of the
no, he's
Seattle.
He's now passed away.
Oh, is he? Yeah. Who? Is it Gordie Howe?
Gordie Howe.
Oh, you're talking as that. I'm more
I
thinking.
couldn't even
of-
answer. John hijacked that one.
You didn't know. I saw
The
the look
Gordie
on
Howe
you.
hat trick? Who?
would've
Yeah.
said
Well,
that.
that came from the Detroit Red Wings.
I'm just saying.
Look, don't downplay that.
What
one.
team did Gordie and Marty and Mark play with for the first time?
I know.
Go.
The Houston Aeros.
Yes, correct. Of the
WHA.
Yes, correct.
That is correct. See, Haley, you're too young.
Who did the New England Whalers score their first goal against goalie wise?
I have no idea.
It's a pretty high end goalie. Their first goal ever
Okay, I have no idea.
was in the Boston Garden.
I was going to say Boston. No, I really was going to say Boston.
Bernie
Bernie
Perron.
Perron.
Yeah.
Yeah, I almost guessed
Oh,
that.
that's cool.
Bernie
There you
Perron
go.
gave up the first goal to the Whalers.
I would say to you that the idea of we had a little bit of confusion earlier. People a little bit upset both ways about the Dallas Goedert situation, but it seems like there's no middle ground. Either people are really anti, like we brought up that the Eagles have never missed Dallas Goedert when he's been out. It's just facts. They win more. They win at a higher percentage in the 17. He's missed a full season of games over the last 4 years. And in those games that he's missed, the Eagles win at a higher percentage, and the Eagles run the ball better at a higher percentage. Those are the facts. Because I think yesterday people were celebrating like, okay, now we're on. Now the Super Bowl repeat's on. And I was thinking to myself, I had already said he's not going to be here. So I had already in my head said he's not going to be here. I'm glad he's back.
I said we're all right either way. I was in
Yeah,
that.
I was in
I'm
that
all right.
game.
Okay, if Dallas Goedert leaves, he leaves. I mean, my theory is you think about how many games he missed. Like that's what I
And that
was
he's
thinking
going
the
to
whole
miss.
time. Yeah, he's going to miss games. He's been hurt every year that he's here. So what is the exact issue here? Are you going to tell me Grant Calcaterra can't play at all? Are you sure? Are you sure about that?
They're not.
No.
Nobody's sure because they're probably the same people who told you Johan Rojas couldn't play. Until he could.
Apparently, nobody could play.
Until he
Nobody can
could.
play unless
For
you're
now.
liked.
For now.
That's why.
What do you mean for now? What do you mean for now?
Do you expect Johan Rojas to maintain what he's doing
Yeah,
right
but you
now?
see, this is where it's not fair, Hale, is that people are not fair because they'll trash a guy, and then when he does well, they'll go, yeah, but how long can he keep it up? It's like, well, here's what I can tell you is if I can sit through a freaking 3-week period of Brandon Marsh being 0 for 31, I'm sure as hell could take the time to compliment a guy who is the best 9-hole hitter in baseball in Johan Rojas.
There you
And
go.
that's awesome. And I'm happy for him. I want him to succeed because
There's a butt coming.
Yeah, but it's like
What are you going to? There's a butt coming. You
people
go
around
butt.
here.
What's the butt?
People around here right now like you for your looks or like you for a personality instead of liking for what that player does on the field.
And why did they let
Or the
Trey
court,
Turner?
or
Okay,
the
but
ice.
defensively, though, do you think that Rojas is
Better than Marsh.
Well,
Yeah, he's better than Marsh.
I mean, is that hard to do?
And by the way, if people knew how to pitch, he wouldn't get hits. They don't
Marsh
pitch
would never
in.
get hit.
Nobody could pitch in with conviction around the major league.
But I'm not a Marsh defender.
But the thing is, though, but it sounds like why can't people just say, it's like I get on Andrew and Connor on Andrew and Brendan about making fun of, they have been terrible, getting all after Taijuan Walker. I'm like, guys, it's okay to say you got it wrong on Taijuan Walker. It's okay to just admit it. Taijuan Walker has been terrible in his Phillies career.
Yeah.
Terrible. But it's okay to say that in 2025, Taijuan Walker is making you look stupid. Everybody has been critical of him. And by the way, I was critical of him the last few years. So I'm just as critical. Those three. But it's okay to say, okay, Taijuan Walker's saying to everybody, would you shut the hell up now? Because he's been really, really good.
And by the way, he should
bad
have that right to do that right now.
He had one bad inning.
Yep.
And if you take away one inning from Taijuan Walker, he's got a 1.2 ERA.
He's throwing the daylights out of it. I'm giving him credit.
And you are. I've heard.
I was one of those guys who was a little skeptical at the beginning of the year, but now I've kind of
Right. I mean, he's doing. Now, do I think he's going to be this all year? No, I don't know.
No.
But I certainly know that if I can criticize a guy for a bad outing or 3 bad outings, that when he pitches well for 2 months, I can come with the same energy to say, yeah, maybe I had it wrong.
Yeah, and I'm happy for Walker, and I tweeted that last night. I said I've always been a fan of Taijuan Walker.
Yeah, I don't believe you.
Always.
Yeah. Utah chose its team name yesterday. I think some team names should be changed. I think there are team names that need to be changed.
I hate the Commanders.
I would agree with you.
It's bad.
What if some existing sports teams change their names? We might have some ideas coming up next. It's Ricky Batalico guest starring for Andrew Salciunas on Kincade and Salciunas here on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Philadelphia Union Soccer.
Kincade Salciunas show on 97.5 The Fanatic. Who's that sponsor, Haley?
The final hour of Kincade Salciunas is presented to you by The Bagster. It's a dumpster in a bag. You can get yours today at Home Depot and Lowe's. You need details? Go to Bagster.com.
Who are they listening to, Ricky?
WPN HD1 Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station, broadcasting live from the Comcast Business Studio. We are powering possibilities.
We do. We power on through here on the show. Andrew out today.
I get to power on through in about 20 minutes without you.
And where are you going to? Yeah, I will be. I got to head home. Get the suit on.
Yep.
Get the cap and gown to do the faculty thing. Even though they have now, some of the faculty wears the cap, some of the faculty does not.
Right.
I don't think with this lettuce I wear the cap.
You have to wear the cap.
No, like half the faculty does. Half the faculty doesn't.
He's got a good.
You have nice hair, and I'm not going to deny that.
I would go mop.
Okay, listen, Haley, because Haley's really good with the picture stuff.
I am.
Remember, picture opportunity for a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
Me stepping down from the faculty to join Dean David Boardman when my daughter gets her diploma, and then walking off the stage with Liv for another picture.
I think
do I want to have a cap on, or do I want to have my hair?
I think it's kind of sweet if you both have the cap on. Like that's.
Do you disagree or agree?
That's a good look.
No cap.
I think no cap.
Because then here's what's going on here. Then you're taking away from her day even more.
See, I sort of agree. That's where I sort of agree with Ricky. It's that she's the graduate. I'm just the adjunct professor. You know? And plus I know this, Haley. I'm going to mess up that cap.
Yeah, you definitely would.
You know what I mean? Like that cap's going to slide.
It'd be like crooked or something. Like you would do something.
I'm going to fidget with it. I'm going to be fidgeting around with it. So
I'm going to tell you, don't do it.
I'm not going to wear the cap. But
but bring it with you though, because again, like after the graduation, you might want to do a picture with her.
Okay, I
your
could
caps
do that,
on. You know,
that could work. And then we got to pick up Uncle Tom. Got to pick up my brother to bring him down, her godfather. So make sure, because he's got it. We got to pick him up and take him down. So the Utah Mammoth were born yesterday. I love the name. I wish they had been able to use Yeti, which is what they wanted to do, and the Yeti Cooler Company would not let them use it. I love the name. I don't know how the Yeti Cooler Company was able to keep them from using it. I honestly don't. I don't know how the trade, I don't know how that was able to be done since Yeti was used forever.
Because you're not you're not promoting the coolers.
Right, you're not promoting coolers. So I don't understand it. You're promoting a Yeti. The logo would have been a Yeti. The Yeti coolers don't use a giant Yeti as their thing.
Why didn't they just go to the Seattle Sasquatch?
Well, I don't.
Oh, it's Utah. Utah.
It's Utah.
So.
Seattle.
They went to the Kraken. I drained.
Yeah.
Okay.
Would you other franchise names? And I heard this is where I heard Mike and I heard Bill talk about it the other day on the Mike Missanelli show. Who, by the way, will have Daryl Morey today at 10:30, so you don't want to miss it. They were talking about the Los Angeles Lakers and people not knowing that the Lakers came from Minneapolis. The Minneapolis Lakers.
The land of 10,000
Right,
lakes.
exactly. But they never changed the name, which is incredibly stupid. That they never changed the name when they went to L.A. because there's not the lakes in L.A. Doesn't make any sense. I think it's a stupid name. The Utah Jazz, I can tell you, having done quite a bit of business in Salt Lake City and gone to Park City to ski, there's not a lot of jazz clubs in Park City or in Salt Lake City. The Utah Jazz moved from New Orleans, where they were the New Orleans Jazz. That made great sense. They never changed the name. I think that's a team name that should have been changed.
One that should have been changed a bunch of times, the Rams.
The Rams keep bouncing around.
How many Rams do you think were in St. Louis, Missouri?
I said never. I wouldn't think so.
It makes no sense.
I just don't think
it does not make any sense.
I don't think it's a. I love our team names. I think our team names here are great.
Well, what the heck is a flyer exactly?
Well, it's the names that they came up with. It's a flying puck. You know the logo's a flying puck.
Okay, that's fine.
It's the flying P.
An eagle is an eagle.
You know how the Flyers came about? I saw this online. They kind of like gave out like a survey to people, and they filled out the names that they liked the most, and the Flyers won.
And it was a contest in the paper too,
Yep.
and it was a drawing a contest too.
It was really cool.
Think about how weird the 76ers is.
How is that weird?
It's the Philadelphia 76ers.
See, I like it.
I like
it's
it.
Sixers,
History.
76 history.
No, I understand.
Do you not know what that is?
Yes, I do.
I love the embracing. I love the embracing of the history. But like there are some team names though that just could easily be like. I don't think when a team moves cities, that the name should go with them.
I kind of agree with
Well,
Give it a different branding.
It didn't for some teams, as we know.
you. Right,
Like
the Hurricanes.
the Hurricanes,
But they still use
the Winnipeg Jets, the
it-
non-original Winnipeg
Like
Jets.
it bothers me every year when I see the Carolina Hurricanes do their Hartford Whalers night.
pisses me off.
I like it.
Why?
No, because it's
If you were from Hartford, you would think that would be a slap in the face.
Well,
a
I'm
slap
not from Hartford.
no,
so-
but it's a slap in the face.
Because we know what they're doing. They're making money off of it.
And they're
that's what
selling
they're
it.
doing.
because the Whalers sweater is
think-
the coolest one.
It's such a
that's
cool
ever
sweater.
existed.
That's fine and dandy. But
Besides
what
the Thrashers.
Carolina is doing, and that's a greedy, you know what, down
Yeah.
there in Carolina. All he wants to do is make money. How do you make money? You bring in the Hartford Whalers stuff and sell it
and
like
they play
crazy.
and they play Brass Bonanza.
Yeah.
And they do the Whaler sweater and the Whaler logo, unbelievable.
Yeah.
But would you change anything as far as colors, like our color schemes and anything or anything? I wouldn't change anything.
No,
Here. I think it's too embedded
I like
here.
it that you're really not the same with any team.
Just not the City Connects.
I know this. Josh Harris has studied bringing back Redskins. If the political climate would allow it, because they caved.
I
They
don't think it's a
caved.
big deal.
I don't think it's a big. I think they could go back. I really do. I think the political climate they could go back.
Why not? Why the Indians
It
had
never
to
should've-
change is beyond me.
I don't know what
We didn't learn
by
about
the way-
cowboys and Indians
By
when
the
we
way,
were younger.
By the way,
Yep.
the Indians, if you didn't see the story, they have actually studied back about going back to it.
They should, because the Guardians is a horrible,
I
horrible.
hate it.
terrible.
It's bad.
It's absolutely awful.
Isn't there a movie about the Guardians, like Galaxy?
Guardians of the Galaxy, yeah. but-
Yeah, it's stupid.
All right, so a lot of people think maybe Dallas Goedert's not getting enough respect. But who's a Philly athlete that maybe is underestimated like him? We'll find out next. Kincade Salciunas with Ricky Pitalico as the guest star on 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Big win for the Phils. I'm Haley Taylor Simon with your Fanatic Sports Update. This update is brought to you by the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. 2 guys drove home. 1 guy wore a seatbelt. 1 guy didn't. 1 guy made it home to his family. 1 guy didn't. Click it. Don't risk it from the New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety. The Phillies had a big 7-0 win over the Tampa Bay Rays. Taijuan Walker had quite the night in the bullpen. 3 innings in relief, 7 strikeouts, K'd the first 6 batters, and he only faced 10 batters. The Phils are looking to get a sweep tonight. Eagles news, because the Eagles have reconstructed terms of Dallas Goedert by agreeing to a contract with a pay cut, and that will keep the veteran tight end in Philadelphia. Big news today, as Sixers president Daryl Morey will be joining the Mike Missanelli show. That will be coming up at 10:30 live here on YouTube or 975thefanatic.com, so do not miss that. This update is also brought to you by Wendy's. With Wendy's breakfast 2 for $3 biggie bundles, you can choose the pair you want at participating U.S. Wendy's. I'm Haley Taylor Simon on your home for coverage of the Truist Championship, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Vacation? Business trip? Don't worry.
us. It's Kincade Salciunas on 97.5 The Fanatic. I'm just handing Ricky the end of the show AACR read because Ricky's going to land the plane this afternoon. This morning. I should say this morning. So I'm going to be leaving after this, and I'm just hoping there's like nothing on the Schuylkill, nothing between here and...
Oh, good luck with that.
Well, I could take the back roads too, so if I have to, but I don't want to have to.
So where do you have to go right after this?
Go back to Landview to get changed and everything, so go home.
And what time does the graduation start?
It doesn't go till... I have to be at a reception at noon, back down Temple.
Okay, so now
fine.
You're not pushing it, but...
Oh, no. It'll be fine. I'll be okay with that. So we're ready to go.
There.
We're ready to go. Just trying. I don't want anything messing up with things. We were talking earlier though about Dallas Goedert, and some took the conversation of that the Eagles are they're not a better team, but the Eagles have better statistics running the ball and winning percentage in the 17 games that Dallas Goedert has missed over the last 4 years than in the games that he played. That's just factual. And some people take that as a slight against Dallas Goedert. So one of the things that discussed there is some people consider that a slight. So what I would ask is Dallas Goedert, in your mind, is that being disrespectful to Dallas Goedert? Is that considered a slight to him? Are there other athletes in Philadelphia that don't get enough respect? That maybe there are numbers, but I wonder, are there athletes that aren't, in my mind, Ricky, that aren't getting... Maybe let's put it this way. They're not getting the respect that they deserve.
There's a lot of guys that I think don't get a lot of respect. I think I could name two on the Phillies. Would you like to hear them?
I would, and I'm going to write down one that I think you might say.
Yeah, that was quick, so you do have one of mine.
I have one of...
Aaron Nola.
I wrote it down.
Aaron Nola is 100%.
You think
the most?
Is he disrespected?
Disrespected pitcher, actually disrespected player on this Phillies team. And
I'm agreeing with you on that. That I do believe that. I honestly, though, cannot think of another Philly that would fit that criteria.
I got one.
Give it to me.
Nick Castellanos.
Okay, well, the thing is, it's weird. I guess the reason I don't is because of the fact that on this show. He is. So on this show,
I respect him, but I don't. I think people love the Bryce Harper. People love the Kyle Schwarber and Trey Turner.
Well, we do.
Oh no.
Well,
what do you mean? Oh no.
This person isn't Trey Turner.
Well, I'm just saying, there's a lot of that goes on.
Well, on this show,
Trey Turner could do no wrong. He could hit 100, and people would still love.
Now the weird thing is that I heard you guys have this conversation the other day on Best Show, on Afternoon Show. And I sort of said, we have different, and I heard Connor saying, boy, I got different algorithms. Because that's very different than what we have. On this show, Haley, you hear it every day with the YouTube chat and otherwise. Mm-hmm. I don't feel that's the Trey Turner discussion that we have on this show at all.
No, and I mean, I'm looking at the YouTube chat now, and shout out to the YouTube chat. They don't like Trey Turner.
Yeah, like he really doesn't get... He gets grief. He gets real grief. And I think, by the way, a lot of it's earned. Now, the thing is, though, he really has turned it around at the plate. He has really
He's
turned
doing more what a top one or two hitter in a lineup should do instead of being the home run guy. And the first thing people will say, if they are mad at him, well, he's not hitting for power, which he's really not. He did hit a home run in a minor league park last night. So we'll take that. But he is getting on base, and that's all Rob Thompson asked him to do.
Right. Asked him to get on base. And the thing is, when I saw that the other night and they gave the graphic on TV, and T-Mac was using it during the game, I said, I got to hear what Ricky has to say about that graphic. Because I actually even screenshotted it. The whole idea is, I don't care about anything. I just want you to get on base. All the rest of things will take care of themselves. So you just get on base and don't worry about anything else. I almost threw up. He's making $300 million. Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
I just care about you getting on base. Don't worry about anything else. By the way, he is the worst, and I'll repeat it.
You make that much money, you're supposed to be a run producer.
He is the worst defensive shortstop in the National League since he has gotten here.
Oh, with 100%.
Since he's become a Philly, he's the worst defensive shortstop.
Now, I haven't asked it on this show, but since you got to the defense, are you a little disappointed in Major League Baseball? The way they call errors now.
Well, I'm totally disappointed.
I think it may be the most disgraceful, pitiful, asinine things these people up there with the propellers on their heads with the beanies do. They should be embarrassed. And by the way,
and you do believe it's an edict.
It is analytics people. It is all those people up there that think they know baseball better than everybody. By the way, bring down your best field of 9 and throw your analytics at me, and I'll kick your ass all over the park. How about that?
I mean, to me, I can't understand. Like, I can't understand the idea that
how do they take over? You don't see baseball players taking over, mathematics. Why do they come and take over our stuff?
I will tell you,
they ruin everything.
I will tell you that there is a baseball executive, and I'll write down the name for you, who has changed their organization's policy on the hiring of analytics people. And they have to supply, because so many people now want to get into the analytics side of baseball, they now have to supply their education resume, their analytics resume, and their baseball resume. Where'd you play? What level did you play baseball?
I'm not going to lie.
What level did you play baseball?
It should almost have to be 100%.
And no, if you do not have a baseball resume, they do not now. You are off to the side.
And by the way, if you only played golf, go do it in golf.
Right.
We don't need it in
There
baseball.
is no, and this is, by the way, now the 4th year.
People are making money. I want you to think about this, about making up things that don't really matter.
The flip.
No,
up on the board. Like
I love this.
They make up all these stats.
How many times have you heard, and I'm not going to call out any announcers' names because I'll give this any game in the big leagues. Hey, how about this guy hitting from April 27th till now? He is hitting 342.
It's so
really on fire. How about the on-base percentage of 402 since then? By the way, what did he do before that? Oh, he was 0-0-0 across the board.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it so much.
You don't like it when someone gives you the small sample size.
No.
No,
What
why
does
would
it
I
matter?
want that?
Right. I need to hear. Now, I will say, when someone says to me, I would rather hear the announcer or someone say to me, it's been a rough ride. It's been a rough ride for this player. But they do have a 7-game hit streak going on where
That's
they're
fine.
playing well.
I don't mind this.
I don't want to hear. They're hitting 422.
The Schwarber on-base streak is great.
I can't believe it, by the way. I can't believe he's always been
He's
great.
going to get pitched around a lot, so that's why he has this opportunity.
By the way,
But
is anyone not noticing that he doesn't have to bat leadoff to be really highly effective, and he's just had his most effective April ever? And he's on the screen. Because I've been told he has to bat leadoff. He's got to bat leadoff. That's where he's most effective.
The best thing about that is he doesn't care where he bats.
And the thing is, but I was told that that's where he was most comfortable, and that's where he had to play. That's where I kept hearing that. I kept being
Maybe
told
he was
that.
most comfortable there, but does that say, oh, I have to keep him there?
No. But I'm thrilled that he's not. Because he's had his most productive April ever.
Yeah.
And so to me, I'm
literally fine with him either way.
I love where he's at. I feel really good about it. And by the way, Bryson Stott up the top, you like it? Or do you not?
He doesn't bother me.
I think it's made him look. Bryson Stott, he's second in seeing pitches in the National League.
You're going to say look the part.
Yes.
Yes.
But he's second in seeing pitches in the National League.
And what do you want from your leadoff?
I want to see pitches. Because you know what? I want to see that Bryce Harper's seeing pitches behind him.
Ironically, the first batter of the game last night, they knew that he likes to see a lot of pitches. They just threw him 3 straight fastballs.
And they're just right at him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got to, there's a little bit of a challenge there. So the Phillies will, but there is disrespect. It's funny. I knew Nola.
Yep.
But I didn't think you were going to say that.
Casty's the other one.
Well, Casty.
I think he's just.
Well, the weird thing is I didn't say Casty because of the fact that Casty on this show is not.
Right.
So
I'm just saying.
I appreciate you being here this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good
man.
luck to you today.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great
day for Liv.
It is. Hey, the Phillies wrap up their series in Tampa. Ricky will be talking about that one. Plus the key three. And Haley will regale Ricky with all the things that people have been saying on the YouTube chat and on text board, too. Remember, Mike Missanelli has Daryl Morey today at 10:32. Andrew returns tomorrow, too. It's Kincade and Salciunas here on The Fanatic.
We want to hear from you. So text us at
Into Salciunas or Kincade and Salciunas show, and guess what?
Oh, man.
I'm not Kincade. I'm not Salciunas. They have given me full reign for like 10 minutes. Haley, what do you think about that?
I mean, it's great if you got the show's name correct.
Oh, well, I did. I did. It took me a minute.
It's okay.
I was looking at you, and behind you, the first name I saw was Salciunas, so I said Salciunas first. I don't think they care. I think they're interchangeable.
Yeah, it's fine.
Although John's probably in his car going, thanks a lot, Ricky. You know, I just worked with you for 3.5 hours, and you pulled that off right away. So it didn't take me very long. But you know what? There is some sports actually still going on here. And the Phillies, look, they took the first 2 games from the Rays, and they were kind of simple. And what we saw is a really good starting pitching effort from Zach Wheeler and from Christopher Sanchez, now maybe the stud of all studs. And the one thing that I've learned is that this guy knows how to pitch. And you've heard me take my shots at the Rays today about what they actually throw out there, which to me is garbage. But, I mean, you look at the pitching matchup tonight, I mean, I think you're in the same boat. Phillies are in a really good boat. You're looking at Jesus Luzardo going up against Ryan Pepiot. This is not a matchup again. And to me, it's one of those situations where if the Phillies have a good offensive approach, I think they end up big time going in the right direction. You know what was funny? John said, you know that last question he asked me about Aaron Nola? I said Aaron Nola was the answer, about kind of not really disrespected, but kind of just brushed over type thing. When I look at this whole situation, I think Nick Castellanos is one of those guys. And John poo-pooed me on that. He doesn't believe that.
No, it's true, though. I mean, if he goes on, like, social media, everybody likes to hate on Castellanos.
Yeah, but why? I
he
think
does what he needs to do. I mean, he's producing better offensively than some other guys on the team that get sugar-coated.
I think that's kind of what it is that he just does his job.
Yeah.
And it's nothing flashy. It's nothing out of the ordinary. He'll come up with a big hit every now and again. And when they come up, he doesn't, like, react to it like, I guess, like most players would. He's just like, yeah, you know, I just did my job.
Like, it's his job.
Well, it is a job for him. And
he treats it like a 9 to 5. I love it.
Yeah, but when he first got here, I think people thought, well, he's a little outspoken in a bad way. Like, I think people had that opinion of him.
I like his personality.
You like the way he looks?
No. Well, yes. But besides the looks, I also like the personality.
You do?
I do.
You kind of like that stoic type. I'm not saying anything. I don't take blank from anybody.
He's being himself.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. He's kind of grown on me. Because the first year he was here, I thought he was going to be one of these cocky individuals. And then his numbers weren't that great when he first got here. And all of a sudden, everything kind of got better and better as days went on with him. And now I've become a big fan. But I think Aaron Nola is definitely at the top of the list. But when you think about the rest of the team, who else would even be on that list?
You can't put anybody else on that list.
Well, Bryce Harper he could hit 0 for the year, and people would think he's still the greatest.
We love you, Bryce. You can do no wrong.
I think Turner's on that same page. JT will never be off of that page. It's just weird. Like, to me, it's very strange. When I played the game, it was a lot different. It was kind of like one of those things where, okay, where are you going with this? Who's good, who's bad? They didn't care. If you had a good game, bad game, that's when they cared.
Yep.
It's a different crowd, a different world. We were talking about the impact of Dallas Goedert earlier today and what he means to the Eagles. John Kincade, oddly enough, was on the same page I was with that. And I believe the Eagles would win with or without. It's just like our cheesesteak, with or without.
With or without.
And I will tell you this much. I think I didn't. And I know a lot of people love to put words in my mouth. I didn't say Calcaterra would be an automatic starter for this team. What I said is he is fine to fill in for Goddard. That's all I said. And I still believe that. He did it last year, and where did they end up?
The Super Bowl.
They won a Super Bowl. But he's not good enough. Isn't that weird when you really think about it? This guy's not good enough.
I mean, he averaged more yards than Dallas Goedert did last year.
Yeah.
I mean...
Goddard hardly played. He was out a lot of the season.
Yeah, but Ricky, even when you take a look back at what Dallas Goedert has done the year prior, he only would average about 10 yards.
Yeah, but the difference between having Calcaterra and having Goddard out there is that the offense will run through Goddard.
Yeah.
The offense is not going to necessarily, quote unquote, run through Calcaterra. And I will say this much, he's probably wide open a lot of the times.
Yeah, he is.
When you really dig deep into it,
won me money.
Probably nobody's probably covering him half the time because they know the Eagles aren't going to throw to him. When they do, he catches the ball. So, hey, to me, to each his own, but it's not going to be that way. It's going to be Dallas Goedert, and Calcaterra will, again, have to be sitting in that circus waiting to see if he gets the jump through the rings or not. Yeah. And when he does, I think you got a quality backup there.
But that's why you would need to draft a tight end. And when they didn't, it kind of made sense that they were just going to bring back Dallas Goedert, especially with Howie's comments.
Yeah. Is there anything we missed today? Any texts we missed?
I mean, we have a lot of texts congratulating Liv Kincade.
Yeah, good for Liv. Liv is graduating. That is why John has bolted out of here at 9:36 p.m. on a Thursday morning. So John won't be back till Monday. So.
Oh, man.
What do you got?
A lot of people saying that they do not like Nick Castellanos, that they don't like Trey Turner.
Okay, stop right there. What is the deal with the Castellanos thing?
If you don't like Nick Castellanos, are you even watching the game of baseball? And I don't want to be rude, but are you just listening to him interviewing and you don't like the personality?
That's what I think it is. The guy has played well.
Because the one text says, I don't like how he speaks. Okay, well, it doesn't matter how you speak or not speak. It's about how you play the game of baseball.
I think you're absolutely right. I think some things you got to throw out. I mean, let me put it this way. I hear so many interviews of all these guys. I could pick out quirks that would drive you nuts every time they talk.
Yep.
And I mean, do you remember Reese Hoskins?
No.
I know. I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah. If you noticed, every time after every sentence he spoke, do you know what he said?
What?
Right.
Ugh.
And it was a drawn out right. It was like, getting the RBIs in a big spot with 2 outs, right? Every time.
That's horrible.
And there's another guy on this team that has carried that over, though.
Oh.
I don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to out him on
Not
that.
until he leaves.
But even the hockey guys, when I talk to them, people, they don't get to see that side of these athletes. And the way that they talk to the media, it's a lot different.
Yeah, that's true. You get to do this a lot.
Yeah.
The way they talk to you in person is a lot different than the way they talk to a television camera.
A lot different. Like, they'll say, their little terms, buddy here. And I'm like...
Buddy here?
Yeah, buddy here. And then we're from Minnesota. Like, Bobby Brink, he has, the thickest Minnesota accent. Yeah.
Got to go up to Minnesota, go in the lakes.
I'm like, okay.
Is it funny?
It is funny. But I'm like, okay, well, I just want to report on a story.
Well, you get a lot of that garbage. And, I mean, I think a lot of fans do kind of take that into consideration, especially when they first speak. But they didn't take – watch this. Here's the thing I'm going to throw at you because they did not throw this in Trey Turner's face ever, except for I have.
Mm-hmm.
When he signed his contract with the Phillies, came in for the press conference. Do you remember what he did in that press conference?
Oh, I knew it was something.
That bothered me.
Was it he wore something, right?
He did not wear something.
Nothing Phillies.
He would not put on his hat.
Yeah.
You don't remember this?
No, now it's coming back to me.
He wouldn't put on his hat because, quote unquote, I got to go out to dinner after. If somebody was paying me $330 million,
putting on that hat,
I would put on the hat and I'd go out to dinner with the hat on. I mean, come on, really?
I just don't like Trey Turner, and
I thought that was going to be like hell freezing over for him, and I thought the fan base was just going to come down on him. Instead,
standing ovation.
Yeah, he turns into this guru that it's like, who is this guy? Why are they giving him a standing ovation?
It's so stupid. I did not support that.
It is, but you know what? You got to take it with a grain of salt and just say it is what it is. I'm going to move on.
I'm just
and
happy
I'm going to like who I like, and I think fans should always be like this. I think fans should like who they want to like. I think people are swayed sometimes by an interview, and it could be an untrusty interview. It could be bad questioning. It could be a lot of different things. But people will get swayed by one interview, like you said, with the Nick Castellanos thing.
It's like just base it off the game.
I mean,
not a big deal.
Harper's, I feel like he probably had some good coaching before he came in here on interviewing, especially early on.
He's like a PR machine.
Well, I think once you've been here for a while, it doesn't matter anymore. But when you first start here, you got to make sure that you're saying everything correctly and not screwing up and just kind of not going through the motions. But I think for the most part, obviously Bryce Harper did that better than any other player in the history of Phillies baseball has done it.
Yeah, he has. He's done a good job.
I mean, let me ask you something. Does it matter what Bryce hits or how well he hits?
It does.
To you it does?
Absolutely.
Wow. So you're kind
I don't get swayed by that stuff.
So you're a believer, misbeliever.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to be. See, I don't think you should look at a guy just because he's here for a long period of time, contract-wise, that he's the greatest player in the world all the time.
No, I mean, you could be the most likable person. I could like you off the field and what you do for the community, and that's cool. But if you're not producing on the field, I'm sorry. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm not going to be swayed.
Yeah, but he could do whatever he wants when he wants. That's pretty. That's pretty obvious.
But as the fan, I have the right to also say, well, I'm not impressed if he's not hitting.
Well, there you have it. By the way, I know we got to get to the key three. You got the key three?
I do have the key three.
Run it.
Now, the Kincade Salciunas Key 3. Today's best.
That Dallas Goedert is back. Can we have some honest conversation about Dallas Goedert being back? Because it was as if yesterday, well, let's start putting out the parade route cones. Let's put up the barriers because the last missing piece is back. Dallas Goedert's returning. And Ricky, I'm thrilled that Dallas Goedert. I am very happy he's back. But I had made the case before when he was leaving that I believe people have overvalued and overhyped what he has actually brought to the table.
Yeah, he's brought a lot of missed games. I mean, when you really go back and look, he's missed 17 games when he's been here. That's a full season. I thought they were going to bring in a veteran from some other team that was going to get released, cut, whatever. And, okay, you could use that, and it's not going to be much of a problem. I looked at it either way. I think either way, I don't think the Eagles would have had a problem. I'm going to ask you an odd question.
Okay.
How many times did Saquon Barkley get hit hard last year?
I don't believe he took a physical beat.
He did not. He didn't. I mean, I think it's just that simple. I think the offensive line is so good that the shots he took were just, they weren't taking a huge toll on his body. I think he has another really good year.
So that's an interesting way of looking at it.
I do not think they started chopping down the tree. How's that? If I were going to look at it in some way, you take your axe out, you start chopping down the tree. Okay, they've taken 300 shots at that thing, and they put a little dent in it. My whole point is, do you feel like he was beat up?
No, I really did. You know, I thought about this because I really do believe Saquon. Look, do I think he's going to get 2,000 yards? No. I wonder, if I said to you right now, what do you think when we look at our Bet Parks at? What do you think Bet Parks is going to set his season yardage at?
Somewhere in the 16 or 1,600 range.
Okay, if they put the number at 1,600 and a half yards, are you betting over or under?
I'm probably going over.
I think I'm going to go over too.
I think he's going to be close to 8.
So you're thinking 1,800. I'm thinking that.
I think 1,600 might be a fair number to throw. 15 might even be the number in a casino.
I'm thinking that 1,500. Do you think the Phillies are on pace to be a comparable team to last year? Could they be a better team than last year? Or do you think that they're worse than last year?
In all honesty?
Yeah. I want you to be on. Ricky, I always want you to be honest.
It's all about a peak. When do they peak? And when does that peak come back downhill?
Were you worried last year that they peaked too early?
The way they were playing. I said this from the beginning. I said it till I was blue in the face. That London series destroyed the year. Well, there it is. Kincade and Salciunas on 97.5 The Fanatic. That was your key 3 for the day. Why are you laughing over there, Haley?
I'm just happy you got the name of the show correct.
Oh, stop. By the way, one quick text. Come on, hit me with it.
All right. This is from Quinn, and he says, when it comes to Nick Castellanos, what turned me off from him was when he said that he doesn't really have an approach at the plate.
No approach at the plate. That's not surprising, though.
He's honest.
Well, I think that stems from his first year, so I think that's first impressions.
Yeah.
First impression was not good for Casty. How about that?
I'll take it.
All right. Well, this has been the Kincade and Salciunas show. I got to thank you, Haley. You were outstanding today.
Thank
Haley
you, Ricky.
Taylor Simon. I got to thank John Kincade, even though he's not here at the end of the show. Got to let you know, number one, Mike Missanelli is up next. He is at the Truist Championship, and guess who he has? He has Daryl Morey coming up at 10:30. So you might not want to miss that. I want to thank Nate. He was on the YouTube. I want to thank TJ. He was on the AP duty today. Also, remember to support life-saving cancer research. Join me and our generous partners, FT Young Heating and Air Conditioning, in making a donation to the American Association for Cancer Research today at 975thefanatic.com/AACR. Cancer research saves lives. Have a great day, everybody.
Fanatic Sports.